Welcome to Soapbox NYC. Give yourselves a round of applause. I feel so honored to be standing here in front of all of these powerful young people who are about to get on their soapbox and speak out on an issue that matters to you. How awesome. Seriously, it is such a privilege to get to learn from you today. We are here celebrating youth voice, the power of what you all have to say. My name is Mia Salamoni. I'm with Mikvah Challenge. If you have any questions throughout the day, look for folks wearing a Democracy is a Verb shirt. You'll see them in a couple different colors. At Mikvah, we are all about the power of young people. We know that you all have expertise in the issues that impact you. What you have to say matters, and our communities are stronger when you are sharing what you think, when you are involved in making the changes you want to see, which is why we are so excited to hear your speeches today. For anyone in the room who's like, what is Project Soapbox? I've heard this before. This is a program that asks young people, kindergarten through 12th grade, to get up on their soapbox and deliver an original speech that answers the question, what is the most important issue facing young people today and what should be done about it? So we're gonna hear a lot of fabulous speeches today. Really excited. I wanna introduce Jenna Ryle. We do all this work with the awesome Civics for All team.
Thanks. Hi, everybody. I'm Jenna Ryle from Civics for All. I do not have like a cool back of my shirt, but we were on the board somewhere. We are so excited that you're here. For those of you who may not know, Civics for All is the civics education department at the New York City Department of Education. And so we are the team that puts the civics curriculum into your school. We work really closely with Mikvah Challenge to bring you democracy education program throughout the year. We're so excited to be here and working together today. So turn it over to Mia for some exciting next steps.
Yeah, thank you, Jenna. We love working with Civics for All to bring y'all events like this. So look around, we're in this awesome space. This is New York Historical Society. And right now I want to invite up Leslie Hayes, who is going to speak on behalf of the New York Historical Society and welcome us. We are so lucky to be in this beautiful space and grateful for their generosity and hospitality. So let's give Leslie a big round of applause.
Woo! I am so excited that today is here. This is my very favorite day of the year. This is my third chance to be a Student Voice Champion, and I am so thrilled to be the one to get up on stage and welcome all of you. So as Mia said, I'm Leslie. I am the Vice President for Education. I'm really the person that gets to stand up here and welcome you all on behalf of New York Historical. Before I say a quick word of welcome, I need to do some thanks. First of all, thank you to Civics for All and the DOE for letting us host this event. They keep thanking us, but truly it is such an honor and a privilege to be a part of this day. So huge thank you to Jenna and her entire team. Thank you to Mikvah for being fantastic partners. And I also must thank everybody at New York Historical that made this possible, especially the education department who will be floating around, and even more especially Marianne and Allison, my two colleagues that made this whole day run. So if you see anyone at all with a New York Historical Society badge today, if you need any help finding a room, finding bathrooms, any of us can help, and I'm sure they will be helping with a smile, even if they have a mask on, because we're just so thrilled to have you here. By a quick show of hands for all of our wonderful special guests, how many of you have been here before? Anyone? All right, some of you. Welcome back to those of you. More importantly, welcome to those of you that have been here never before. I hope this won't be the last time. I just wanted to quickly share, there's a lot of confusion sometimes about this institution because we've got New York in our title, but in fact we are an American history institution. You are currently in the second oldest museum in the country. We were founded in 1804, and for the last 200 years, this institution has collected objects and works of art and documents. We have over 1 million things from the past in this building that you're in. And all of those things tell the story of how Americans have fought to make this country better. So I cannot think of a better place for Soapbox NYC to take place because you are surrounded by incredible stories of men and women and individuals that have fought for their communities, and now you are a part of that story. And I suspect that in 200 years' time, many of your names may be a part of our collection because we know that the future leaders of our country are in this room today. So congratulations to all of you. We cannot wait to hear what you have to say, and good luck, best wishes, don't be nervous. This is a day to celebrate more than anything else. Congratulations and welcome.
Woo! Awesome. Thank you so much, Leslie. Thank you to all the New York Historical staff. Y'all, I want to share a couple of numbers with you. So over 1,000 classrooms in New York City participated in Project Soapbox this fall. Okay, that is thousands and thousands of young people who got on their soapbox to advocate for the change that they want to see. Incredibly powerful, right? And now here you all are. You were chosen by your teachers, by your peers, by your communities to represent your school here at the citywide showcase. So give yourselves a round of applause. That is awesome. Yeah, that's a big deal. And we have 150 schools, give or take, represented here today. And I just want to do some shout outs so we know who's in the room. So when I call your borough, I want you to cheer as loud as you can, okay? So we know who's in the room. Are you ready? This is serious. All right. Let's start with Brooklyn. All right. Nice, Brooklyn. How about Manhattan? Woo! Small but mighty, that's okay. All right. How about Staten Island? Woo! Awesome. How about Bronx? Woo! Yeah! All right. Last but not least, Queens. Awesome. So we have young people from all across the city here today. And what we're all about, this is a chance for you to make your voice heard on the issues that matter to you. This is a chance to celebrate and center youth voice, which we know doesn't happen often enough, right? And it's a chance to listen and learn from each other. And so before we do that, I want to go over some group agreements, some norms for how we're going to share this space together. I know there's a lot of new faces in the room, so let's talk about how we're going to be together today. First, we're going to be respectful and positive. Y'all have done an amazing job of that so far. You're bringing good energy into this space. I love to see it, especially because we know how hard we each worked on our speeches, right? We want to respect every voice in this room. We know there's a lot of heart and bravery that has gone into every single one of these speeches. So we're going to bring that good energy and support each other. And we're going to keep an open mind. I just said there are young people from across the city here. Everyone has a different experience, a different perspective, and what a good opportunity to learn from each other, even if you disagree, right? That is totally fine. We live in a democracy. You can hear speeches that you're like, well, that's not for me, but I'm going to really pay attention and learn about this person's different experience than mine, right? We're going to keep our masks on just to keep each other safe. Jen and I have ours off here on stage so that you can hear us well, but we appreciate it. I see a lot of you already wearing your masks to keep us and our families safe. And very importantly, wild applause. We take this so seriously. All right. So I can tell you all are already good at this. After every single speech, we are going to cheer wildly, like Beyonce just walked in the door, okay? Because we know how hard everyone worked, and we want to respect their truth. We want to celebrate their bravery. So I want to practice wild applause one more time on 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. That's the energy we want to see, really after every single speech, okay? One other note, you all are talking about things that are near and dear to your heart. You're talking about big, important issues, and that might bring up some big feelings. So if at any point during the preliminary rounds, You could use someone to talk to process those feelings. Our friend Rupa is going to be right outside the auditorium. She's waving now, and you can go ahead and give her a visit and just have someone to chat with. So we've got support there too. What am I forgetting? Okay, something important. If you came here to win a competition, you are thinking about it all wrong. Today is a chance to celebrate youth voice. Today is a chance to advocate for an issue that you care about and be heard. It is a chance to listen to our peers and learn from them, okay? So speak your truth, have fun, throw that competition idea out the window, all right? Woo! Cool. Awesome. Awesome. And now I'm gonna hand it over to Jenna, because I want to give us a chance to get to know each other a little bit better in this space.
All right, so we're going to be spending all day together, and before we go off into our rooms, we want to learn a little bit about each other. So I'm going to read a statement, and if that statement applies to you, you're going to stand up if you're able, or you're going to raise your hand, and then you're going to look around and see what you have in common with each other. And we're going to have Carla out here, and we'll hear from some of you about your thoughts on these questions. Are we ready? Is everyone ready to stand up if this applies to them? Okay. Stand up if your favorite season is winter. Wow, that's a good amount.
Brave.
I would be seated.
Yeah.
Carla, who do you think? Who do we want to hear from?
I'm gonna run over here. What's your name?
Oliver.
Oliver. Tell us why winter.
I likes the snow.
That is yes.
That's a good reason. It's my favorite thing about winter too, Oliver. Love the snow. All right, are we ready to stand up again? Stand up if you like to listen to music. This looks like a popular one, Carla.
I'm gonna go over here, and we're gonna go with
Daniela.
And who's your favorite artist?
Maybe Lady Gaga.
Whoa!
Yes,
Lady
good
Gaga.
one.
Okay.
All right, don't get too comfortable. Stand up if you play a sport. Who do we have back there, Carla?
Let's see. What's your name?
Perseus.
And what sport do you play?
Basketball.
Woo! What about you?
I play soccer and football
Wow.
and tennis, golf, and I ski a bit.
What is your name?
Hunter Hoffman.
Remember that. He's gonna be big someday.
How many of you standing also played those sports? That would have been your answer too.
All of them.
Not all. I mean, not all. That sounds a little, that's extreme. We've got an extreme athlete over there. Let's stand up if you have ever made homemade pizza from scratch.
Oh.
Ooh, I heard some gas,
see you
which
back
tells me
here.
we've got some good cooks in the room.
What's your name?
Liliana.
And did you successfully make pizza?
That's another story.
It's the trying that matters. Did you stand up as well? No. Okay, never mind.
If you didn't hear that one, we asked if they successfully made pizza, and we're told that's another story. So, I mean, the effort matters. Stand up if you watched a movie last weekend. I lost you out there, Carla.
I'm
Oh,
right
there
here.
you
I'm right
are.
here. What's your name?
Eddie.
And what movie did you watch?
It was Toy Story 3.
Oh, a tearjerker.
That's a good
Toy Story
one.
3.
How many of you have seen Toy Story 3? All right, good one. All right, get ready. Stand up if you are curious to meet new people and hear more about the issues they care about.
All right. That should be everybody.
It looks like it's everyone. That looks like everybody. Stand up if you are nervous to give your speech.
Well, you're standing here. All right. We have someone here. Hi. I'm Lily. I'm up here in the balcony with Lily. I travel fast. Lily, why are you nervous?
I mean, I'm okay because I kind of prepared, but it's still a little nerve-wracking to be, But I'm excited.
Well, I feel like you're in a room full of very kind people, and you're gonna be great. Group 2.
That's true. I know we're nervous, but Carla's right. We have lots of friends here who are going to be a great audience for us today. Stand up if you are excited to make your voice heard today. Woo! And adults, stand up if you're excited to hear their voices today.
Woo!
Woo! Carla, I lost you again. Do we have anyone we want to ask them about their excitement?
You stood up. What's your name?
Zinzi.
And what is the speech that you want to elevate today? What's your topic?
My topic is adultification bias.
Ooh. Say that again.
Adultification bias.
Adultification. I want to go to her room.
I mean, I've seen that speech and you should. That is awesome. Thank you all for participating in Stand Up If. I hope we know a little bit more about who we have here. I'm going to turn it back over to Mia for some logistics for the day.
Awesome. Okay, so just a couple logistics before we head out. So of course, right now we are in our opening program. We're gonna wrap that up in just a couple minutes, and then we're gonna head to our preliminary round rooms. So on your name tag, it has a room number on it. We are going to head to those room numbers one at a time. We'll dismiss you. You'll go with your facilitator. We will get you to the right place. Once you get in those breakout rooms, that's where you'll give your speech. Your room facilitator will call each speaker up to the front. You will give your speech and you will receive wild applause from everyone in the room. And then we have some awesome folks called Student Voice Champions, and they are adults who are here to listen to your speeches today. They are here to engage with you about your topic. So after you're done speaking, you're gonna have a short conversation with one of those adults who might ask you a question or give you some ideas for how you can keep advocating about the issue that you care so much about, and maybe offer their support for how they can help you do that. And then you will go ahead and sit down and listen to the rest of the speeches in your room. And in those rooms, after all the speeches are over, you will vote for which student you would like to see represent your room on the main stage. Your room facilitator will explain more about that when you get to the room. So I just want to give you a little preview for what to expect in your preliminary round rooms. After that, we have lunch, yay food, and then we are going to come back down here into this space for the main stage. On the main stage, there will be one representative from each preliminary round room who will give their speech again in front of this whole audience and in front of some more Student Voice champions. So we're going to listen to their speeches, learn from them, celebrate them, and then do a little reflection and head out. So we have a super busy day today, lots of great stuff, so be sure to move quickly. Grab your coats and your bags as we move around today. You'll want to keep those with you. And one important note, if you use social media, shout us out today. Tell the world what's going on. There are some awesome, I'll get out of the way. There are some awesome, awesome speeches here, and we want the world to know about them. There's, I think, almost 350, 400 people here today, and we want even more people to know about these speeches. So tag Civics for All and MICFA Challenge, and we will be sure to amplify what you share. And I think we are ready to head to our preliminary round room, so I'm going to turn it to Jenna to dismiss. Y'all are going to be amazing today. We cannot wait to hear your speeches.
Good morning. My name is Theo Tureen. I'm 8 years old. My topic is gun violence, and my title is How to Stop Gun Violence. Has your school ever been in a lockdown? Were you frightened? My school had to go into lockdown because of gun violence that happened last year. Did you know from 2015 to 2018, 35,000 American children were shot before their 18th birthday? Did you know 97% of children killed with guns in high-income countries are killed in the U.S.? I learned this in an article. You can stop gun violence by writing a politician and asking for stricter laws for guns permits, and ask for guns only to be used to keep a safe community. I hope that you don't have to experience a lockdown due to gun violence. Imagine a world where there is no gun violence. You might be thinking, what can I do? I'm just a kid. But there's so much you can do to stop gun violence. So are you with me?
want to stand up there? Because we're going to have a conversation. So I'm sorry, I forgot. We're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you're up first.
Okay. So, Theo, is that you? Yeah. You go by Theo? That was fantastic, Theo. I am like good for you, and I was really impressed with a couple of things. But I just wanted to ask you. So you mentioned you got the statistics from an article, and do you remember what the article was or where it was from? What kind?
No.
That's all right.
My teacher gave it to me and then I read it and I put it in my speech because I thought it was good.
So that's great, because if your teacher gave it to you, then that is probably a really reliable article. And I mean, and you know, one thing you want to do for sure is make sure that the information you're getting is reliable. So good choice there with that. And you mentioned about that we could write our representatives, like a politician who represents us. Is that that is something that I have not done, but I think because of you, I'm going to do that. Have you done that?
No, not yet, but that's something you can do.
Yeah, you have inspired me to do it. And one thing I wanted to say to you that I thought was so especially effective about your speech is the way you used, you asked a question a number of times. Did you know? Did you know? And it got me so engaged. Like, do I know that? And you were given the answers. But that's just a really, really effective way to draw in your audience. So big thumbs up to you, and thank you.
Nice. All right, thank you, buddy. We're going to do one for each. You're all set. You're off the hook. Now you can relax. And we're getting a step stool. Step stool's coming. My eyes. Kaylee is up next, and she's going to be talking about cultural diversity. So if we want to wait for the stool, we can, or if you want to use this microphone, you can as well. That was a big step. You want to use this one? Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Can I go there, to leave my papers on the sofa?
Yeah, go ahead.
My mom is really important to me because she is such a hard worker. She works as a house cleaner and she supports our family and me so I could have a successful life. Have you ever heard a stereotype that says Latin American women are always the home caretakers and don't work traditional jobs? This is false. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that among Latinas aged 24 to 54, over 2/3 are part of the civilian labor force. There are many women out there from all fields, from law to science and athletics, and pushing stereotypes will not help them to pursue their goals. Hi, my name is Kaylee Medina, and I am from PSO4 Vince Lombardi, class 4-422. And today I will talk to you about why it is important to respect all cultural differences. It is important to respect all cultural differences because it helps get rid of negative stereotypes and personal unfairness about different groups. In addition, cultural diversity helps us respect and recognize the differences we all have. So when we interact with someone with a different culture, they could trust us because we are respectful. Since we all have differences, we must learn from each other. For example, we could learn each other's traditions, food, and community. This can encourage us to make our daily life much better. There is one very important first step, which is to accept all cultures, because believe it or not, we all have differences, and that is okay. To me, cultural diversity means merging different cultures, just like my classroom. introducing your culture to others, and accepting the positives in your culture. By learning about people of different backgrounds, we can increase our horizons and communicate more on a personal level. If you put aside any biases you might have and you're open to other people, it can prepare you to listen, talk, and learn. If you do want to learn about a different culture and don't know where to start, a great place is by picking up a book. Currently, I am reading about the March on Washington. I learned how important it was for the community to stay together and fight the discrimination that was taking place at the time. The best way to learn, though, is face to face with that person of the culture you would like to learn more about. In today's world, if we are able to respect and know about another culture, life would be much easier and we would all learn great things from each other. These are the reasons why we need to respect all cultures. We are all culturally diverse and this is great. So how about we all learn our differences and embrace them?
Hello, Kaylee, right? Am I saying it right? That's a beautiful name. So I loved how you started off and brought us all in by telling your own story, by telling about your mother and how important she is to you and what she has done for you and your family. Just really got me very interested in how you're going to shift this into your topic, and I think that was fantastic. So
thank you.
And so besides your mom, what else inspired you to choose this topic?
Maybe my dad too.
I think it's fantastic. And you also talked about how your classroom is very diverse.
Yes.
So that might also be part of
Yeah.
recognizing that there are so many different people in the world and in your classroom that this is an important topic. That's fantastic. Do you think there's anyone else you could share this with? I'm trying to think. Do you think maybe, did your rest of your school hear this?
No, only my class really heard it, yeah.
So maybe it's something you want to share with your whole school, because I'm sure if your classroom is diverse, you might want to share it with everybody. But I just thought you did a great job really expressing all of your thoughts and really asking really good questions that make everybody think and telling your own story. And so thank you so much. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All set. Next up is Michael. And we have a step stool now. Thank you so much. It looks like there's 2 levels, so please be careful though. Make sure it's nice and good. And if you don't need it, you can move it out of the way, and you can adjust the mic as needed. Huh? You can use this. If you'd like to stand over there, you can. If you want to use this, it's totally up to you. Cool.
Hi, my name is Michael Mensah, and I will be. My name is Michael Mensah, and I will be representing the PS20 and talking about safety. Imagine coming to school every day and thinking to yourself, do I feel safe? You wonder, will I hear those words? Lock down, shelter in, take proper action immediately, clear the hallways, anyone in the bathroom? Is this a drill or something really going on? You wait and wait as time stands, still waiting to hear if this was another practice or if the danger is real. Fortunately, we have not experienced this yet, but it doesn't mean that it won't happen in the future. In school with 10 exits, one way to make us feel safer would be to have multiple security guards. Our school is huge, and at this time we have 1,227 students enrolled and 145 staff members in our elementary school. We have 3-year-old kids here, all the way up to 11 years old. And how can one person, no matter how amazing she is, possibly protect all those people in an emergency? In the Sandy Hook promise organization reported that the United States has had 2,332 school shootings since 1970. These numbers are increasing every year at an alarming rate. Further, CBS News reported that the number of weapons confiscated this year has surged to a startling 80%, with 3,315 weapons recovered in schools from July 1st to February 20th. So what are we going to do? Back to our point of needing more security to decrease the chances of a person bringing a weapon into our school. Since we don't have metal detectors, the presence of a security guard will hopefully deter someone from bringing something unsafe to this school. They can also walk around the hallways to if there is another security guard there. The security guard we have is stationed at the main entrance. If she is called to an action during an emergency, what happens to the main entrance? We need more help. To add on, according to CEO Cop Security blog, having security guards stationed around the school has many benefits. The presence of a security guard reduces the incidence of violence, reduces bullying and fighting. It increases overall observations of students and gives a sense of safety. Guards can handle kids who may need special attention. If we were able to have an additional security guard, we will be able to have one to come to recess, so we will be able to feel safe and comfortable. We are afraid of strangers coming near us at recess because we have a public schoolyard that is not locked for our use only. Our principal worked very hard to make sure that entrances are secure, but anyone can hang around the area. One time, a man threw a glass bottle on the floor, banging on the fence. We felt scared by this incident. To our last point, according to the top 3 reasons, security guards, school security guards, security specialists are specifically trained for schools, and their actions can avoid tragedy. We deserve to feel safe and comfortable in our school environment. Our families deserve to feel that their children are safe when they're in school. We need your help to make a difference. Thank you.
Michael, congratulations. You did it. How does it feel?
Good.
I'm going to start off by saying I was so impressed by all of your research, the data that you shared from the school data that you presented to us, Sandy Hook, to even the senior cop blog. Like, super impressive because it really gave me things to think about. And so I was really impressed by that. And I'm wondering, you started off your speech with that scenario. Can you tell me more how it feels to be a student in a lockdown, like when you guys go through those things? Can you tell me more about that?
Like, what do you mean, kind of?
Well, you shared a little bit about how you felt during the lockdown, how your classmates feel.
Sometimes we feel scared because we don't know if this is a drill or not.
And so right there, that really resonated with me because I have 2 kids, one who is 10 and the other one is 15, and I also every day I think about that. And so I think part of how powerful your speech was is because you made us feel, and you actually gave us an experience, like a picture in your head. And so thank you for that. Some of the things that I would love to share with you, I think you already mentioned that you met with the principal. It'd be great if you can also share with the school leadership team, which includes parents from the community and teachers. And so I think it would be great for them to hear from you. And I think also, the local police is also part of the community. So wondering how your speech can also be shared with them.
And I also share the speech with the councilwoman because she's coming tomorrow to the school.
Michael, this is amazing, and I thank you for sharing
Thank you.
Whichever way you want. So next up is Lena. Do you want the microphone? You don't have to have it if you get it.
Hi, my name is Lena Rackness, and I'm in 4th grade in PS 130. Ow, I'm bleeding. It hurts. Those are problems that happen to many playgrounds in our community. For instance, here are some examples from my school. In October, one of the school aides tripped, fell badly, and the ambulance came, which could happen to other schools and to anybody, adults or children. Here are some of the many consequences of having cement grounds. First, walking on gravel is not good for your legs because walking on safer areas is easier for your joints. But if you walk on harder areas, it's harder and way too painful for your joints. Another big possibility is that the gravel can get damaged. For instance, at the playground near my school, there's a hole that has been fixed for 6 months. And when it does break, it will cost a fortune to repair. Can you imagine a world where people won't get hurt badly anymore? Kids enjoying their time with friends and family, not worrying about getting hurt. The nurse won't get as many patients anymore due to solving this issue. Per year, 775,000 kids 14 years and younger get hurt, and so many adults. And worse, the hospital. There will be no bad injuries due to solving this problem. Here are some tools we have to use. We can donate old sneakers, use the rubber of the shoe, and use that for rubber tiles. We can use wet sand and obviously rubber tiles. Anything soft and runnable. This is a social issue, and I need you to help me. After all, I'm only 9. I can't do this on my own, so please. Kids, adults, people are falling left and right. Soon, playgrounds won't be safe anymore. We go outside for fun, not to get hurt. We won't have to worry about, will I get hurt? I can't play with you, I'll get hurt. As kids, we want to have fun, not get hurt. Our school community will enjoy recess without falling. Imagine what we could do if we worked together. Posters around our neighborhood reminding people about this situation. Get up and help me. We can have meetings about how much money we made during fundraisers and set a goal for ourselves. We can have clubs and ask people to donate money to our community. It's disappointing that I had to take a speech from a 9-year-old to bring awareness to this community-wide problem we are facing. Going outside is a part of our daily routine. It's proven that outdoor recess helps productivity. Not only that, parents are encouraged to bring kids outside also. But imagine kids are coming home or back to school with injuries every time. That means kids have to be careful and not run. That's like saying you go to a library, but you can't read a book. That doesn't make sense. Let our voices be heard so Mayor Adams can fund our community to make it a safer place. Yay, this is fun. I'm not getting hurt. That's the sound of a successful future. Next time you pass by a playground, remember my words. Children are the future and we must protect them. Now once more, I want to make a difference. So who's with me?
Your speech left me no option. Like, you are on it, Lena.
Thank you.
So you had, I'm wondering, were the
Yes.
own school at the beginning. Do you, are your thoughts about this and the danger, is that from something you've read or many things you've read or your own observations?
So yes, many of my classmates and everybody I know basically, when they're running around, they've been getting hurt, they've been bleeding, and that's just wasting their playing outside time, which isn't fair. And that means the whole class has to go back in the classroom, which is also not fair for them. And like I said, one of our school aides, they had to go to the hospital because of how bad they broke their back on the cement.
Yeah, so you are really living this and seeing this, and probably there's probably some statistics that are going to back you up, I would guess. So you also mentioned a number of like really engaging and creative ways to address this problem, including like
Yes.
the sneakers, which I love. Do you have any thoughts about like what maybe should be tackled first or a particularly good solution here?
Yeah, so really, I'm pretty sure I really like the option about like donating the old sneakers because so many people have old sneakers that they just toss away, which is we like to recycle because we're trying to save our earth. So if we just, and many other parks have like they donated the rubber, the sole of the shoe, and they use that for rubber tiles, which would be a cheap and inexpensive and easier way of getting rubber.
You have totally inspired me. My husband has like 5 gazillion pairs of old sneakers that he will not give away, and I am going to take your speech home with me tonight and make sure he finds it. And I just also want to say one thing about your delivery.
Mhm.
That like you are really thinking about timing and emphasis and making sure your audience is with you. And I really picked up on that, and it kept me right there with you. Great job.
Thank you.
Awesome job. Next up, we have Jose. You ready? Good job. Do you want this one or that one?
That
one. Okay.
Good morning. My name is Jose Ortega, and today I'll be presenting a speech that is very close to my heart, and it's on why NYC playgrounds need equipment for kids with disabilities. Close your eyes. Can you hear it? Children laugh as they race to take turns on the swing, slides, and monkey bars. Kids throwing water balloons to feel and hear the splash. But wait, not everyone is participating. I don't see kids with special needs. Let me explain. Kids with disabilities may have physical or sensory challenges. In order for a special needs child to access the playground, they need to be adapted. Imagine a world where everybody feels welcomed and nobody feels left out. I have a dream like Martin Luther King Jr. He had a vision of freedom and equality. I want to see in the future all New York City parks be more inclusive and have more adaptive equipment that all children can use. I decided to ask my fellow peers about this issue. Would they be against having an adaptive swing in our school park community? To my surprise, everybody loved the idea. 46 out of 50 kids said it'd be better to share a park than leave anybody out. In addition, I researched the New York City Parks website and found out that only 1,700 parks have wheelchair accessibility, but less than 20% of the parks have adaptive equipment to meet the needs of this underserved population. I need everybody to contact, visit, or email our local congressperson, mayor, or New York City Department of Parks. It's important that they hear concerns. We need more adaptive equipment in our parks. We need all kids to be included. We need all kids to feel included. Finally, the next time when you see a special needs child at the playground, don't stare. Smile. It's a universal language for hello. And remember, everybody has a superpower. We have the power to be kind and include everybody. Special needs children have the ability to do things differently. Why not share the park with them? Thank you for your time.
I am so thankful for you because you just did an amazing job. I love the way you presented. You spoke from your heart, going places. So
Thank you.
I love that you included real, you can tell you did your research and that you were very passionate about this subject.
Yes.
And it is important. What made you pick this topic?
So basically in school, we're learning about this thing called BB, and it's called participatory budgeting. And this gave me the idea of why not give adaptive equipment to kids with special needs, because we have a playground. We have kids upstairs in my building. Whenever I see them go outside, they have nothing to play with, and I don't think that's fair. And also, I have a brother with special needs, a twin brother. And whenever I go to the park, my brother just sees me play, and I don't like to see my brother sad. He's my best friend, and yeah. Thank you.
Fantastic. You are an amazing big brother.
Thank you.
And I think it is fantastic. Have you written to your councilman? I know you gave that suggestion for all of us to do, and I think it's a great idea. Have you done it?
No, I haven't done it yet. I'm thinking of it.
They would like to hear your
Yeah.
speech too.
Yeah.
Because we're all convinced about the importance of it.
Yeah.
I think you did an amazing job. I love just the way you presented it, the way you spoke to us, very strong and powerful. And so fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That was so amazing. Good job. Jose, have you heard of the program Best Buddies? You should look it up because I think you'd like it if you brought it to your school. You got homework. All right, so up next we have Catherine, who's making her way.
Did you know that 1 in 5 Americans experience a mental health issue in a given year? That's a lot of people. Everyone standing here right now might know someone who has a mental health issue. Hi, my name is Catherine Wu, and I'm 9 years old. I go to PS376Q, and today I want to talk about a serious issue that many people don't talk about: mental health issues. One reason why mental health issues is such a big problem is because it can change your brain. According to the Aspen Recovery Center, neurotransmitters are the brain signals that are most affected by mental illness. Do you think it's fair for these people to suffer from this? They didn't ask for depression, anxiety, or any other mental illness. They can't help it. Another reason why this is a problem is because the symptoms of mental health issues are severe. Not eating, use of drugs or alcohol, fighting, severe mood swings, or even vomiting are symptoms. Mental health issues affect everyone in some way. Family members and friends of people with a mental illness may feel hopeless or even helpless. If we properly address mental health issues, then we can build a better community. Think of your town. Now imagine many tragedies: self-harm, suicide, fighting, self-abuse. Now make the tragedies disappear. See the angry people? Make their frowns turn into smiles. This is what can happen if we properly address mental health issues. No more fighting, no more gun violence, and no more suicide. Imagine this. Think of a world where anyone, anywhere can get their treatment for their mental health issues. When you break your arm, everyone can see your cast. But if you have anxiety, it's really easy to hide it. Most of you, when you think of depression, you might think of someone moping, frowning, or slouching. But most of the time, that's not the case. Mental illness can look different in everyone. They might be smiling and acting like everything is fine, but on the inside, they really are not. Let's start treating mental health issues like a broken arm. Mental illness, like physical illness, requires care. What are we waiting for? We need to address mental health issues now. Without your help, I don't think I can stop mental health issues by myself. Does your school have a guidance counselor or social worker? No? Then I suggest you talk to your principal to make sure every student in every school has access to care and counseling if they are suffering from a mental illness. We all need to tell our principals to make posters, raise awareness, and help stop mental illness. I think we deserve a better world. Let's work together to help improve our mental health. Are you with me?
Catherine, I'm so with you. I'm ready to go back to your school with you and just take this on the road. Catherine, I am so impressed. Your passion, your urgency, your advocacy for mental health is just, I mean, I hear it, I see it in your speech and the way you delivered it. What resonated with me were your one-liners. You said,
What's a one-liner?
Let's turn frowns into smile. Let's think of a world where where we can make mental health disease disappear. And you said also, why not treat mental health like a physical,
What is a one-liner?
well, like little phrases that you had in your speech. They just resonated with me. And so I'm impressed. I think, it's an issue that is affecting a lot of people, and you clearly are the biggest advocate for that. And so, do you want to tell me more why you chose it?
Yeah? Well, I have my own mental illness, and it's not really helpful, and it can get into a lot of my stuff. So, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was great. Good. Awesome. Oh, Sophie's ready. There you go.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sophie. I am in the 4th grade. I'll be talking about why stopping cyberbullying is important. According to Google, almost nearly 42% of kids have been bullied online, and almost 1 in 4 have had it happen more than once. It is important to stop cyberbullying because cyberbullying behaviors are carried out from a distance and can be instantly broadcasted to a large number of people. How would it feel being bullied on the internet? Upset, sad, not happy, correct? Cyberbullying can happen at any place at any time, even in places where you normally feel safe, such as your home. Most platforms that people get bullied on are most likely TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, and more, which is not a good thing. Anyone can get bullied on the internet, such as teenagers, young children, and even adults. So please, come to a realization to stop cyberbullying. Spread the news to stop it. Before you make that comment, think about how they would feel and how it would lead to your own actions. Be kind.
Sophie, this is such an important issue that you have highlighted, and especially when you said what I think got to me the most of all of your good points was just how there's no place you're safe, like you can't go home to escape it. Like that's just such a striking and piercing, thought to have that it's just everywhere. So really, I know, it's like I know it's an issue, but your speech really brought that home in an important way. I'm wondering two things. I'm wondering what led you to choose this particular issue, if you're comfortable talking about that, and also, what can we do?
Well, I chose this topic because whenever I'm on watching videos on TikTok and I see comments that's being mean to the creator, I feel bad and I want to share this with people just to let them know to share that cyberbullying isn't right and it's better to stop it.
That makes a lot of sense. So you've really seen it in action where people are. And do you think people who are making these kinds of mean comments, do they feel like they can do it because they're not right there, so it's easier?
I think they want to do it maybe because they're sad and they just want to put someone in another another bad mood so they can keep doing that.
So they may be struggling too. Yeah. Do you have any particular thoughts, any like number 1 or 2 thoughts about what we can do?
Well, first you can like share this and maybe you can reply to that comment and say that isn't right. You should stop being mean. And you can also just share it anywhere. Like you can make a video about it.
So we can really speak out in the moment and then also later. Sounds like those are great ideas, and I admire your passion, and I feel hopeful with someone like you leading the way or raising our awareness of it. Like maybe we can make things a little better. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kalia, sorry. I'm terrible with names. I forget them, but I've remembered a lot of them, and I'm really proud of myself. Here, you want this? Sorry.
Have you ever wondered, why is this world unfair to women? From the beginning of time, women had to fight for the same rights and opportunities as men. From having to protest the vote for the president of our nation, to having to pay more for items because they're more girly, and even having to declare the right to get paid the same as their fellow male coworkers. Before the 1920s, women couldn't vote. Men felt like women's brains couldn't understand the concept of politics. Therefore, they shouldn't be allowed to vote. Thanks to women like Susan B. Anthony, Katie Stanton, and Lucretia Mott for taking a stand. Have you ever heard of something called pink tax? Pink tax is being charged more for products, but they're more targeted towards women. Razors come in all colors. However, blue and red razors are less expensive than pink, purple, and even yellow. Why should I have to pay more simply because I want a razor that's pink? Even in the workforce, women aren't getting treated fairly. There are plenty of certified women who have the same college education as their other male coworkers, but still getting paid substantially less. Gal Gadot, who plays Wonder Woman, was paid $300,000 for her leading role. Christian Bale got $9 million for his leading role. How is that fair? It seems like women aren't as respected as men. When I was in the 4th grade, I was assigned to be partners with a boy. When he saw he was partnered with a female, he got really upset and didn't want to participate anymore. By the age of 9, I was discriminated against because I was born female, something I had no control over. This wasn't the first time, and it probably won't be the last. I am so happy to live in a time where we, women, aren't afraid to speak up and fight for the same rights and opportunities as men. We will keep fighting until justice is served, because women are just as worthy as any man.
Mentioned that you were discriminated against because of the partner that you had. Is that why you chose to write this, or is there something else that also inspired you?
There's something else because everywhere I look, there's like women getting paid less. Like my mom won't be as respected as my dad is, and women are always discriminated against because they're just women.
I love the way you presented yourself, the statistics that you included in your speech. I thought were really strong. And what I learned, I never heard that term, pink tax. So that was very interesting to me. So I really appreciate you
Thank you.
I think it's so important to make everyone aware of the differences between men and women and making sure that women do have equal rights. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kyrie. Woo! Let's go, woo! Thank you for bringing awareness about the pink tax. I had heard of that, and when I first heard of it, I was like, what? But you got this.
Once a couple years ago, it was a blissful day. I looked in the lunch bin for my food, but that's when I noticed my food was missing. I looked everywhere, but it was gone without a trace. My last option was to get school lunch. I walked hesitantly to the line. Luckily, there wasn't a lot of people on the line, but I was unaware of what I was about to see. When I was given the food, well, let me rephrase that. The monstrosity of something that was nothing close to food. I couldn't bear the sight. At first, I thought it was a sloppy Joe, but I remember the lunch lady saying it was supposed to be vegetables. I was seconds away from throwing up. Hi, my name is Kyrie Richards, and I'm here to state the facts and reasons why we need to change the school lunches to be bolder, not molder lunches. I mean, what vegetables look like meat? Better attitude. Research shows students have better attitudes towards teachers and other students when they eat. They are so much more productive in participation in work. A child who is in a bad mood during school time could just need food. Which brings me to my next point, why we need better lunch. Studies show that 70% of students don't eat school lunches because some are allergic and others just prefer not to eat it, which is why I think we need to change some of the things on the menu. Maybe salad on Tuesday for the kids who aren't allowed to eat meat or just are vegetarians, and pizza on Friday instead of vegan Friday. Plus, aren't you tired of your children complaining that they're hungry when they should have ate at school? Yeah, I know you are. We have the ingredients to make these new meals. Research shows that 387 billion calories are being wasted. About 19% of the food that's being wasted is vegetables. Can you believe it? 387 billion calories are just being tossed in the garbage. That's why we should make food that kids won't throw away. Now, I bet you would like to know why your kids are always complaining about the school lunches and why they're so nasty. But I got to say, the way they look is very unpleasant. Research shows that most meals aren't prepared from scratch and don't use fresh fruits and vegetables. Instead, foods are frozen and made elsewhere, then heated before serving. This preparation creates meals that are far from fresh and sadly unsettling. Most meals are expired when they are given to us students, which is another reason why you would want to change the menu and buy newly bought ingredients. A better plan for us. I have a plan that will help us kids have better school lunches, and I know I'm just a kid and you probably think I don't know what I'm talking about, but trust me, I do. As a kid who's had a horrible experience with school lunch, here's the plan. How about we gather all the kids from our school and take a vote on what foods we want? Here's an example. Say if I put 4 foods on the table, let's say those options are pizza, cheeseburgers, mac and cheese, and last but not least, french fries and chicken nuggets. You would let the students vote on whichever ones they wanted, and whichever one got the most meals would be the meal for Monday, and the runner-up would be the meal for Tuesday, and the one after that would be the meal for Wednesday. But you get the deal. I know you're wondering how we get all those ingredients, but don't worry at all. I have a plan for that too. All we need to do is make a delivery of the ingredients you need. In my school, we have a delivery doorbell in the back of our door, but if your school doesn't, just simply have the delivery man or woman deliver it at the front door. Don't worry, you don't have to thank me. I love doing this, but a little applause would be nice. The reason I want to help kids get better lunch is because I know I used to hate it when I had no lunch and I had to eat the school lunch. Another reason I'm doing this is I felt like maybe I could make my mark in this world and show other kids that they don't have to be silent and have a voice, not saying that their voice has to be my voice. I just want to make a change in this world my way, my path. Hi, my name is Kyrie Richards, and this is my first step to making this world a better place, one situation to another. Thank you. I feel like I got a lot of things off my chest. No, not yet. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Fatima Nawal. I am in PS18Q and I'm in the 5th grade. Today, I am talking to you about racism in New York City. Racism is when someone treats another person unfairly and will call them mean words because of their race, religion, or skin color. The reason that this is such a big issue is people are treated unfairly because of their race and don't have as many rights as others. They are also hurt physically, mentally, and emotionally. According to the NBC News in 2018, 4 in 10 African Americans say they have been treated unfairly in a store or restaurant in the last month. Many people have faced circumstances that are very unfair. One time, my aunt went outside and a lady started acting very rude to her and said something that was very discriminating to her race and hurt her. Some people will act this way when they have no right to. Imagine a world where so many more people would be able to bond with each other and the amount of crime and violence would decrease significantly. People also wouldn't fear that they could get hurt by someone who doesn't like them because of the way they look. To address this problem, we could share it on social media. We could also create protests and rallies for people who have and are having this, who have had or having the same problem. And we could also create posters and flyers and put them around our neighborhood to let people know about this. We have many resources to let people know about this issue. I need you to email or contact Mayor Eric Adams and Senator Chuck Schumer about this. You could also talk to someone who has been through this and ask them how they felt. Remember, your voice matters too. Thank you. Thank you.
Including, I love how you started with, in addition to who you are, but racism is, and I think that that's a step that sometimes public speakers can overlook because, it's a term that everyone maybe thinks they know what it means, but you're saying, here's what I'm talking about. So you get everyone right on the same page with you from the beginning, and that is just huge. So you've given us, and then to go right to, it's a big
You could like give examples of what you have seen, and like you could like write that it's like a huge conflict in our community, and like it can like it's like it can hurt others people's feelings mentally and emotionally, and so it's not like right to do it, I guess.
That makes perfect sense, and actually it reflects what the content of what you were telling us, including experience within your own family. Have you started writing letters yet?
Not yet.
No, but it's on your to-do list. That's fantastic, and I think you've given all of us a lot of ideas about how to take action, not just say, yeah, that's bad, but you really took us into the next chapter of what we can do about it. Did you know right from the beginning that this was going to be your topic, or?
I had another like option if this didn't work out for me, like if it didn't like inspire me and like take me from the heart, but like this was one of my topics.
Well, let me say it worked out for you.
Thank you.
Zara's on her way up. Right. Yeah, and then we'll go. Did I miss? I think
No, we did. No.
We didn't?
I'm next. Oh, she's next.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Do you want to
Hi, my name is Zara Uddin, and today I will be talking about lack of social interaction for kids. Raise your hand if you find yourself being bored and going straight to a device. Raise your hand if you ever wanted to meet up with a friend after school, but there's no place to meet. Raise your hand when you've been in the schoolyard and don't know what to say or do with your friends. Well, this issue is called lack of social interaction. I strongly feel social interaction is very important between kids, and many children today are lacking this skill. I'm here today to tell you how social interaction can affect a kid's life. I am very passionate about kids having social interaction because I feel this is what makes them live a happier and healthier life. I feel our community is not safe nor clean, so kids are not encouraged to go out to go hang out with one another, which is causing children to lack the social interaction skills they need. They aren't making companions or friends. Beansprouts is a website that shows kids can be more outgoing when interacting with other kids. Kids can also get depressed when they have no sort of interaction in their life. Since there are not any after-school clubs or activities for kids to do in my school, I think this causes students to lack the social interaction skills they need. So, to solve this problem, parents can set up their kids for play dates or try to get their kids to have a conversation with one another. This can help them be more interested in talking or help them make new friends. According to a website called Tender Care, kids can actually develop stronger language skills, creativity, and confidence when they're happier. This can help you, me, and other kids to have a better future and career later on in our life. Remember in the beginning when I asked kids have no place to meet up with a friend? Well, fundraisers can help to save up money so we can build community centers that have fun activities that kids like me and you can use. We can even buy more equipment for after-school clubs, which might be a comfort place for some children. Some after-school clubs should be fun and not always educational. We can even set up weekly club meetings in local parks where kids can participate in fun activities with friends who share the same interest. So, after hearing my speech, how do you feel about kids needing to interact with one another more? If you do, help me to solve this problem so kids can live a happier and healthier life.
Hi. I just love how you began with all of those questions, really giving focus and framing and engaging us, and brought me right in to why this is important.
I do not, but I know a lot of my classes, they have educational ones. Last year I signed up for a bunch of them, but they weren't that fun because, you know, they're educational. They're not fun. Yeah. Yeah, the student council in my class, the student council heard my my speech, and the principal and the vice principal has also heard it, and they took it into consideration. So I think maybe this will change soon in my schools, but I do hope it changes in other districts too. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, one of my solutions were like if everybody just pitched in a bit in the school because there's a lot of kids, so then we will have a little. If every kid donated at least $1, we would have so much money adding up, so we can do all these things. All right. So thank you so much. You're welcome.
Aaliyah. We're going to go. Oh, sorry. There you go.
Have you ever wondered why children get abused? Well, it's sad that children get abused for no reason. People just do let their anger out. Some people even think it helps, but their anger just builds up more and more until they start hurting others without even knowing. This is a global problem that needs to be stopped as soon as possible. It happens everywhere and in different forms. Physical abuse is the most common. I'll describe how it affects the overall mental health of developing children everywhere. It's awfully sad to hear that some kids are seriously injured or either killed just because of child abuse. I think that we should pay more attention to the well-being of our children and help stop this global problem. According to Google, every day 5 children die because of child abuse. This is a lot more than I expected. Adults need to consider how, if they continue this horrible pattern of behavior, it will continue for a while. Their child will think that this is a normal habitat and therefore will continue with this horrible pattern of behavior. This can lead the ages of 10 through 17 running away from home. This would not be a situation I would like to find myself in. According to Google, many kids need to get hospitalized. In the U.S., over 4,500 needed to get hospitalized, and 300 of them died of their injury, which is astonishing to hear. This is definitely a difficult way to grow up. Sometimes people can be rude and not care about others. For example, if your friend were to be treated this way, then you would feel really bad for them and try to make them happy. But the people that abuse the kids don't know what it's like to be treated like this. The children get treated like garbage until they get so hurt to the point they need to go to the hospital. And the final reason why we should pay more attention to child abuse, mainly physical abuse, is because every 40 seconds a child is abused. This shows that the population is slacking due to child abuse. For example, minor injuries that require hospitalization is still an injury that is a result of an adult taking their anger out on an innocent child. Some injuries are also hidden and not brought to someone's attention, which leads to it happening again, or the child not getting the proper care and attention necessary. I need you to help stop adults and others from abusing children. You might be thinking, how can we do this? We're normal people. Well, one way you can do this is by educating others and yourself that you know, such as your family and friends. You can also try to teach yourself the signs of child abuse. According to childabuse.stanford.edu, some of the signs of child abuse are fear, eating issues, bruises, and sleeping problems, and many more. There are also people in our community who can help with this problem. Doctors, nurses, and medics can help because they can save lives. We have police too. They can help stop a scene and do anything with the abuser and the kid. We can also help by reporting, educating, investing in kids, looking at the way you behave, and try to volunteer at prevention programs. As you can see, this is a problem happening all around the globe. We can't just stand by and watch the world burn just because of humans. Hundreds of thousands of kids are abused. Please don't stand by. Try to help. Thank you. I feel really happy that I now got it off of my mind and how nervous I was before. Thank you. Well, I did share it with a part of this whole school, a part of it, and it was my first time presenting it to anyone else except for my class.
Maria. You ready?
Picture it. Plastic for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. How would you feel if you digested tons of plastic? I'm sure you would feel horrendous. Well, that's basically the amount of plastic sea animals digest around the world. Imagine seeing your favorite sea animals dying from eating all that plastic. Truly heartbreaking, yes? Do you think it's time to make a change? Definitely. Well, guess what? You can help. Hi, my name is Maria Papayuanu, and I will teach you about ocean pollution and things you can do to help. Ocean pollution is a huge problem that affects both marine life and humans. For sea animals, digesting plastic can be fatal if not immediately treated. For humans, swimming in polluted water filled with chemicals and bacteria caused by this disgusting plastic can get us really sick. In my opinion, being sick isn't really fun. So many animals die due to plastic in the oceans. In the Pacific Ocean alone, 1.8 billion pieces of plastic build up annually. Yeah, you heard me, billion. Put that all together, and that's 3 times the size of France, and that's an entire country. About 1 million marine animals die because of ocean pollution every year. 150 species of marine life go extinct every day. With each passing day, we lose more and more and more sea animals and the beauty of the oceans. Can you imagine never seeing a sea turtle or dolphin or whale? This is a very big problem, not only for us, but for the entire world. We depend on the ocean for a source of food and energy, to say the least. Toxins from the plastic build up and destroy the marine environment, kill the sea animals, and make the sea uninhabitable in some places. All this adds up to death. But there is hope. We have tools that we can use to help address and solve this issue. There are things we can do as individuals and as communities to make things better. Here are some of those things. 1. Stop throwing garbage in the streets. The wind picks it up and it ends up in the ocean. 2. Take a visit to your local beach and bring a garbage bag and some gloves. Spend a few hours with friends and family picking up plastic and trash. This is also good for family bonding. 3. Take a fishing net and go to the ocean to scoop out plastic as you take a swim. 4. Make an effort to use less plastic. Instead of plastic bottles, use reusable metal ones. It's a simple but effective step. 5. For those who can, donate money to companies whose mission it is to clean up the ocean, like Oceana and Sea Life Trust. These are only a few out of the many ways that you can help stop ocean pollution. Every little thing helps. No act is too small. It's better help now than to wait. Our actions will make a difference in future generations, so let's do something about it. My name again is Maria Papaioannou. Thank you for your time today. Let's work together to stop ocean pollution.
Maria, that was such an important topic, and I love what you did with it because, the sea can seem really far away and abstract, and it's like, well, yeah, you might know it's not good to pollute anything, but it just might not feel that immediate. But with your speech, you really brought it home with the statistics that you had and the specific action steps and what it does both for sea animals and for human animals. And that is not easy to do, to take something so far away and make it feel so close. So real kudos to you.
Thank you.
What have you been to were you inspired by your own experience of going to a beach?
Well, kind of, yeah. Like me, usually I go to Greece for the summer, and usually it's really clean. So, but this last year, we went, and on one side of the beach it was really clean, but the other side there was trash, and we went and saw it, and it was like not the normal bluish clear color. It was kind of green, and all the way at the bottom, the sand wasn't really like light brown. It was kind of black. It was just really sad.
So that kind of personal experience to really motivate you, that's terrific. And did you have the family bonding experience?
I didn't really do it yet, but I will.
Well, your family is lucky to have you, as all of us are as well. I thank you so much for this. I love the bullet points, the 1, 2, 3, like here, really, there's no excuse for you not. You can do something on this list. Like, that's what I'm hearing, and that is powerful.
Thank you.
Good for you. Thank you. Casey. There you go.
Good morning. My name is Casey. I am from 5th grade from the school of PS280Q, and I am here to talk about bullying. Today, I am talking to you about bullying, what happens, and how to solve this issue. The reason this is such a big issue is because people would harm themselves in many ways, including finding ways to end themselves, which is awfully sad. Bullying can also affect someone if they are going through something. An example of this incident is that I have been bullied in the 1st grade because of my size. I used to cry a lot and compare other people to me. Another example is that my cousin is a Sanrio fan and was bullied for liking Hello Kitty. Because of that, she started harming herself. Imagine a world where there is no bullying. There will be a big effect with everyone. People will be bonding more often, and it doesn't even matter how they look like. All I know is that they would have a good friendship. Another effect is that people would start harming themselves and they will live long, beautiful, and healthy lives. Can you believe it? All of this could happen because of bullying being stopped. This could make a big difference towards everyone and to the people getting bullied. So many people get bullied. So if this big problem was solved, it can change everything. Also, did you know that a ton of teenagers get bullied? Well, guess what? In the US, 1 in 5 students ages 12 to 18 have been bullied during the school year. Tools we have to work on this issue are parents and educators. Parents are important because they would always be on the lookout for any effects on the child. They would be there to talk about the situation and what happened in the situation. Educators are important because they can find ways to handle the situation. They could talk to the kid that bullied another kid and why. They could possibly include parents into the situation to find a way to prevent this problem from happening again. I need you to continue to spread awareness to others. Find a way to stop bullying. Anything can help. Posters, flyers, protesting. Maybe you can make a soapbox speech of your own. To prevent bullying from happening. If you do anything to help, it can catch interest from others and they will also try to help and stop bullying. This is a serious situation, so I recommend you to find ways to stop bullying, even if you are getting bullied. Find ways to help you and others to stop being bullied. And if you make a speech of your own, you should know that if others disagree with you, there will be others that agree with you. The reason I am telling you this is because one small protest can make a big impact. So are any of you with me to prevent from this problem from happening again? Hello? Yes.
First of all, very important topic. So thank you for bringing it to us, sharing your deep concerns from what happened to you when you were in first grade, as well as your cousin. Those are really, touching, and we all understand and how much that hurts somebody. And so thank you in sharing your story. It is very important, and I agree with you that what you said, one small protest can make a big impact. I think if everybody shares their voice like you did, we could really start to see changes, and so that's so important. The way you talk about, all of your stories and the facts that you got from online, so powerful. So thank you. You have a big voice to share, and we really appreciate that. I also think thinking about ways that you can bring kids together at school, and talking to your principal or your guidance counselor about how you can bring kids together to talk about bullying issues is so crucial. So you're bringing a very important topic to the forefront. So congratulations, and you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Sophia.
Hi, I'm Sophia Nunez from PS20 in Staten Island, New York. Today, I'm going to be talking about racism. Racism is when people get treated unfairly because of their skin color or background. This situation has impacted many people throughout the history and sadly still happens today. This may also lead to suicidal thoughts and self-harm. According to PsychCentral.com, kids are most likely to experience damaging effects of racism because their brains are still developing. Imagine a world where people can feel welcome and safe regardless of how they look. I know I can, so let's make it happen. We can start by being more kind to each other because we never know if someone's going through something. Also, we can learn to not let our anger out on other people because sometimes people say things they don't mean and never get to apologize. And last but not least, we have to believe in ourselves and the power that can make changes. You may say to yourself, I hate my skin color and how I look, or I wish I could be more like him or her. But you've got it all wrong. Remember, we are all amazing, smart, intelligent, beautiful people. Don't forget you are worth it, and the change starts with us. Thank you. I feel way better after like saying my speech. Thank you. Thank you. Well, since I was little, like I've seen people like deal with racism. So since I was little, I've been like thinking about racism and trying to think of ways that we can all stop it. Thank you.
All right, last but not least, Caitlin. Woo! While she's making her way up, when you have your completed forms, if you can get them to me, because I have to send them off, so.
Hello, my name is Caitlin, and today I'm talking to you about the law in Iran about wearing a hijab in Iran. The reason this is such a big issue is because many women in Iran are protesting and getting killed for breaking the law. Imagine if you were a woman or even a kid who is the same age as me protesting for your right to not have to wear a hijab because you didn't want to, or being told that you need to wear a hijab the way that legislature of Islamic Republic of Iran wants you to. Women are getting killed because of this. But I will educate you first. Hijab is the Arabic word for cover. In Islam, women wear hijab usually when they are 7 to 12. Wearing a hijab is mandatory, and it is modest to wear a hijab in Islam. Iran is a country that is very strict with rules in the Quran. If we help stop getting young women killed, we can bring a little hope to the world. In order to fix this problem, we need to help women in Iran. We need to stop dangerous protests and start peaceful protests. We can help those in need by honoring those who have passed, and we can have love for the families of victims and donate to organizations to help those in Iran. To spread awareness, we can go online and tell people about the issue. We can help those who need by telling others to take action. We will help all those who need help. We can save the future generations and the lives of others. As you can see, there are many problems in our world. We can use our voice to tell people what issues are happening, and hopefully we can fix them.
I saw other people online talking about it, and they were raising awareness about a woman who died because she was protesting.
Yeah, and she has really sparked quite a movement, hasn't she? Leading all the way to you here, which is wonderful. I love what you were talking about, and I loved how you were talking about it and your passion. And one of the first words in your talk was about the law in Iran, and I am a law teacher, and can I just put in a plug for you to maybe, you gave terrific ideas about what we can do, both people your age and all of us. Another thing I can see maybe sometime in the future is, I don't know, maybe give a thought to law school, because law is another way that things can get changed, and I don't know, I can just totally see it, Caitlin. I really can. So great work. Thank you for raising
right. Welcome back. Clap your hands if you had fun. Yes. We should be cheering because we had such an amazing morning. Can we hear a round of applause for all of our students who were so brave today? Thank you all for participating in our preliminary round this morning. It was so brave of all of you, from our kindergartners to our 12th graders, getting up in front of your peers and speaking out on the issues that really matter to you. So one last time, give yourselves a huge round of applause. So over the next few minutes, Mia and I are going to introduce some special guests. One of them will be speaking to you a little bit later on, but I want to make sure to acknowledge that Chancellor Banks has joined us here today, and we are so thankful. Mia?
Awesome. And I'm very excited to welcome onto the stage Vernee Green. She is the CEO of Mikvah Challenge, and we're really excited to have her here to give some welcoming remarks to all of you to help celebrate everything that y'all have accomplished already today. So let's give Vernee Green a big round of applause. Woo!
Thank you, Mia. Hi, everyone. How are you guys feeling? All right, to young people, how does it feel to have gotten that speech out? Like, it's out. It's over. It feels good. It feels good. It's exciting. My name is Vernee Green. I have the privilege of being the Chief Executive Officer, the CEO of Mikvah Challenge, but also the privilege to be here. I got a chance to float around to different rooms, hear speeches, hear from you. This is one of my favorite days, because we ask you the question, what's the issue that's most important to you? And then we invite people to come in and hear from you. And so all of the adults who were here, including the chancellor and the vice chancellor of New York City Schools, are here to hear from each of you. These are some of the topics I heard today. I heard pollution. I heard littering. I heard stereotypes. I heard animal rights. Several young people are concerned about animal rights. I heard stereotypes. I heard women's rights. I heard anti-Asian discrimination, homelessness, school safety, and for the adults in the room. And these are just some, because I didn't get to go into all of the rooms. I think I popped in the kindergarten room and they were finished, but I saw recess was up on the board. More field trips, clean bathrooms. And these are things that adults can attach solutions to. So just really appreciate all of you young people. Let's give all of you a hand for putting your speech together. So I won't take too long, but I will say, our hope, for how many of you young people was this the first time you've given a Project Soapbox speech? Awesome. How many of you after today are going to keep talking? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm in this role, and my job, I'm actually based out of Chicago. We do work in Chicago, we do work in DC, we do work in California, and lots of places in between, really helping to amplify and celebrate the perspectives of young people. It's really critical. Mainly because when I was your age, actually I can still remember 5th grade teacher, we're the teachers in the room, because I want to celebrate the teachers in the room. My 5th grade teacher, Irma K. Brown, said, your perspective matters, your voice matters, and she created multiple opportunities, multiple stages for me to be heard, and I have not shut up since then. And it is my hope, it is my dream, it is my vision that all of the offices here in New York City, all of the government offices, the nonprofit offices, corporations are being led by solution makers like you. Each of you has named your issue, you've done your research, you're giving a call to action. You are saying, there's a problem that needs to be solved, and here is what you can do about it. My hope is that when in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, you all are the people who are going to make New York City and going to make our country and going to make our world better because you all did not stop talking. It is my hope that the chancellor's seat is being filled by somebody in this room in 10, 20, or 30 years. So I thank you all for coming as MCFA Challenge. It is our mission to amplify voices of young people. We expect and we, through teachers, and we cannot do this work. I'm a former 7th grade social studies teacher. Social studies teachers rule. It is our mission that that teachers are helping us to develop young people to be empowered, so you know your voice matters. You're confident when you come up on this stage. To be informed because you've done your research, and active civic leaders who are going to promote a more just and equitable society. That's what we believe at MCFA Challenge. Are so grateful for each of you for coming here today to share the issue that is most important to you. Let me also say this. This is a small stage, and we don't have all day. So not everybody is going to make it to this stage. However, the people who make the decision about who comes up here had the hardest job today. They said, oh my goodness, every speech that I heard was powerful. So if you do not make it up on this stage, that does not mean that your speech was not worth being up here. We just didn't have time, okay? So for each of you, your voice matters. I want you to do what I also saw in classrooms. I saw you cheering each other. Oh, I love the passion in your voice. Thank you so much. Do that again, young man. There you go. Just that quiet praise, celebrating each other. We're going to do some wild applause. The team will help you do that. But just know we celebrate you, we praise you. I hope for next year's Project Soapbox, you are right back here, or because you've aged out, you're on your college campus speaking up about the issue that's most important to you as well. Thank you so much. I also just want to shout out, I always have to shout out the MCFA Challenge team. We're all representing in our Democracy is a Verb shirts. Want to make sure that we thank the staff. Thank you. And I would also be remiss if I did not also thank the Civics for All team, but most especially Jenna, for your support.
Thank you, Vernay. Thank you so much. We are very grateful and very lucky to be joined today by our Deputy Chancellor of the Division of Teaching and Learning, Carolyn Quintana, and she's going to speak to you right now as well.
Hi, everybody. I'm not as talented as all the students in this room, so I had to bring my notes up. I hope that that's okay. But what a great room. There are teachers and school leaders. You've got former MCFA Challenge winners, soapbox winners. You've got a number of different leaders from civics and philanthropic organizations, some business leaders here, and most importantly, the students. Where are you? Students, raise your hands. Let's give them a big round of applause. So want to thank Vernay and the team at MCFA Challenge, Soapbox NYC, and especially the team at Civics for All, led by Jenna, for putting this together and for really bringing you guys here. I was sitting next to someone earlier who said, I can't believe how much work teachers really do to get kids prepped for this. So teachers, we see you. And schools, we appreciate what you've built as becoming Civics for All programs and making sure that this work is happening in your classrooms. You are building those student voices. And I think it's really important. I heard you, Vernay, use the term perspective over and over again. I love that term because it means that our voices don't have to be vocal. We can use them in lots of different ways. And I think it's important that we learn how to build that muscle of being able to take a stand, use information to make sure that we can support what we believe. And then my favorite part was that call to action. And every child that I asked had a really, really valuable call to action. You are the future makers of this nation. And what you decide you want to share with people and how you help promote that is through what you're learning right now. And so I appreciate that all of you are concerned about the people around you. Mostly, Chancellor, you're here today, and this is an example of your vision in action. It just is, right? Like here we are preparing kids not only for the pathways of tomorrow, but really this is where kids are learning to become a positive force for change in their own communities, and that's right out of your mission. And so I love that what you are doing here necessarily connects to what the chancellor wants to see in the city as a whole. And at the Division of Teaching and Learning, which is the organization that I lead, we always talk about wanting to make sure that our kids are supported, that they are empowered, that they are valued, and that the work that they do has value as well. And that in our classrooms, our students are being lifted up to be able to dig deeply, think critically, and to have opinions that they can express in ways that are going to help them move the world forward. Around Thanksgiving, I told a story about how it's our job to support all of you, and we're here in service of all of you. But what I love about today is that actually you all are demonstrating that you are here in service of everybody too. You're teaching us how to take care of our community, whether it's thinking about the right kind of flooring for a playground, making sure that our friends aren't being bullied, thinking about litter on our streets. Whatever the topic was that you brought up, you are thinking about the people around you. And so even as young people, you know how important it is to be in service of others. Thank you. Thank you for being the reminders, and thank you for building a world that is going to look like that, where we take care of each other. So I appreciate everything that you've done. So even if you don't make it up here, as Vernay said, you've already left a lasting impression on all of us. That, and I've seen some really snazzy outfits today. I like that the outfits get applause. I think the thing that I love the most is that you didn't just speak today, you listened. A lot of what you do is about listening. And what an important skill to practice, what an important value to have, to understand that other people may have things to say, and we need to, as much as we learn to be speakers, we need to learn to be good listeners. And all of you did that. And I appreciate that. And grown-ups did that in favor of what you had up here as well. So thank you for reminding us, and thank you for being models of that. As you listen, you grow a world that supports and loves one another much, much better than we do right now, because you learn about other people's perspectives, what they care about, what they know about, and that's how we become a better community, by listening to one another, and sometimes hearing things that we may not agree with, but understanding where that comes from. And so you've practiced that today, and then you took it one step further, and whatever it is that you promoted through your voice, through this soapbox presentation that you provided here, you also called us to action. And so you left us all with homework. And as much as we don't like homework, raise your hand if you like homework. Wow, okay, yeah. Well, as much as the rest of us don't like homework, we appreciate that we're being called to action in those ways. And we should each make sure that we've heard something that you've recommended, and we take a step toward creating a better space for all of us through that call to action. So thank you very much again. Thank you to everybody who helped put this together. At the New York Historical Society, thank you for your work. And Jenna, couldn't do this without you, so thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to hand this over to Mia.
Pass the mics off. Yes. Thank you. All right, one more round of applause for our wonderful adult speakers today. We appreciate your words of wisdom. Thank you. We appreciate you being here to celebrate and center youth voice. I have the very exciting job of being about to flip this slide, and in a moment we will find out who our main stage speakers are, and I want to highlight again, we wish we had time for each and every speaker in this room to also be on the main stage, but of course, the day is passing us by quickly, so we're going to be highlighting one speaker from every room. And if you see your name up here, here's what you're going to do. You are going to go ahead and head out of the auditorium, actually, because Samika is waiting there to meet you and get you ready to give your speech on stage. Everyone else, we're going to hang out here for a couple more minutes and do a little reflection. But if you see your speech up here, you're going to head out of the auditorium, and Samika will get you all jazzed up and ready. Okay. Can I get a drum roll, please? Yeah. All right, here are our main stage speakers. Woo! Woo! Wild applause. Awesome. So my main stage speakers, please go ahead and exit the auditorium now. You're looking for Samika. She'll be right there to grab you. And I also want to share one important thing. Lily, yes, I know, room 2, you're missing. Lily from room 2, we're not able to fit you on this slide, but we want you to also speak on the main stage. So Lily, come on down. Woo! Thank you. Technology, it wasn't behaving, but we're really, really excited to have Lily on the stage too. Okay. So our main stage speakers are heading out to meet with Samika, and I just want to talk to all of the powerful young speakers here in the auditorium right now. You all did something so important today, and I know our guest adult speakers here were hitting on this earlier. You have already made an enormous impact, right? You bravely stood up and spoke out on an issue that matters to you. And I know that took a lot of hard work and maybe some nerves today and all of that. And the payoff is enormous because you were heard by young people from across the city. You opened up people's minds to new ideas, new perspectives. You called folks to action. You were heard by adults from across the city, right? Those awesome student voice champions in your room. You are spreading the word on an issue that matters to you, and it is a huge step you took today and one of many in your future. We talk a lot about young people are our future leaders, right? And you are, absolutely. I can't wait to see what you all do next. And you're also leaders right now, okay? And we saw that today. We saw the way that you shared your voice and you spoke up and you advocated for the world that you want to see. And I know you are fighting for that and you're inspiring all of us to take action. So I just really want to congratulate each of you, and I would love you to give yourselves a huge round of wild applause. Woo! Yeah, it's a big deal. What you did is a big deal, and I hope you're feeling really, really proud of yourself and excited to keep on going. So this morning, Jenna did a little stand-up if with you. I want to do some more of that. And I think Christina is here with a microphone. There she is. If you grab her microphone, Jenna, great. All right. So stand up if you met someone who spoke about the same issue you talked about. Did that happen in any of our rooms? You're like, oh, we're both talking about pollution. We're both talking about bullying. Okay, cool. Take a look around. This is building a movement, right? You all care about similar issues. How powerful. I'd love to hear from someone, what was the issue that you had in common with someone else?
Will you tell us your name and the issue?
My name is Maggie Tam, and I did climate change.
Yes. Who else did climate change?
Yeah, raise your hand if you also did climate change. Yeah. Okay, so you got a team here. Folks care about this issue. And for folks who maybe hadn't been thinking as much about climate change, well, after hearing Riley's speech, maybe you're thinking more about it, right? All right, go ahead and sit down, stand up if you heard about an issue you'd never heard about before, something brand new to you. Okay, cool, so we're learning from each other, right? Awesome, and those of you are really opening up each other's minds. Some people hadn't even heard of your issue before you spoke out about it. Christina, you got someone for us?
Yes, I do. Will you tell us your name and what issue?
My name is Maya Singleton, and the issue that I found interesting is because there was a girl in my class. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she did climate change, and that was intriguing to me. That was new, and I really liked it.
Thank you for sharing. Woo! Can we hear from someone else who learned from another student today, a topic you hadn't even heard about before, something new?
Will you tell us your name and what you learned?
My name is Kaya, and I learned about a topic, natural disasters. It was about natural disasters and how people are affected and ways we can change how we're affected instead of going down, and we could put money towards that cause.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Cool. All right, next one. Go ahead and sit. Go ahead and sit. Stand up if you chatted with a person you didn't know before at lunch. Awesome. I love to see this, right? We're making connections right here. You are all a bunch of young people who care deeply about our communities, and you get to meet each other here in this space. I'm so glad to see it. Does anyone remember the name of their new friend and want to share it out? Christine, I don't see you.
I'm up here.
Great, go ahead.
Will you say your name and who you met?
My name's Alexis, and I met this guy named James. He's really nice.
Amazing. I hope y'all are exchanging numbers. Right, this is just the beginning. We're just making these connections. All right. Stand up if you feel relieved that your speech is done. Woo! Yeah. Yeah, you did it. It was hard work. It was hard work. All right, go ahead and sit down. Stand up if you feel proud to have given a speech today. Yes. Yeah, you should. You should. Go ahead and sit down. Stand up if you felt moved by a speech you heard today. They really pulled at your heartstrings. You thought, wow, I'm really having big feelings about this topic. Yes, okay, cool. Go ahead and sit down. Stand up if you heard a topic you disagreed with. It's okay. All right, that's totally fine, right? Remember, we're part of a democracy. We can disagree. We just need to listen to each other and engage in these important conversations about the issues in our community, right? We have a lot to learn from each other. All right. Stand up if you heard a speech about a topic you did agree with. You're like, yes, keep talking. I want to hear more of this. All right, so again, we're building a movement here. I see this. Awesome. Stand up if you are excited to continue to speak out on the issues that matter to you. Yeah. All right. So with this one, Christine, I know you're still up there with the microphone. I want to hear from someone, like, who's someone else you want to give your speech to? Is there a politician or, an organization or someone that you want to spread the word to further? Anyone thinking about the next person they want to spread their message to? I see some hands down here. Christina's coming.
Will you share your name and who you want to give your speech to or talk to next?
My name is Hannah, and I want to share my speech to the UN.
The UN,
yes.
The United Nations, yes.
I love it. Anyone else with an idea, someone else you'd like to share your speech to? I know Christina's coming down the stairs, has some patience here. And while she's coming, we have social media on our side. You all already took a video of your speech, right? This is something we can be sharing right now. All right.
All right, I'm gonna need someone's help to pass the mic to my friend here with a green lizard on his shirt.
I'd like to share my speech to Chancellor Banks.
All right. That's a good one. All right, and last one, who is feeling energized to take action right now? You heard some calls to action, and now you want to make a change. Yes, okay. Awesome. And I'd love to hear, what are some of the actions you're thinking about taking now that you've heard some of these speeches or given your own?
Yes, what's your name and what action are you planning on taking?
My name is Connor Lugo, and the action that I would plan on taking would be to make bags for the homeless people, so that, bags full of, shampoo and soap and stuff like that to help them.
Woo! Awesome, awesome. All right, how about one more action someone's excited to take? I'd love to hear that.
Will you say your name and what action you want to take?
My name's Julia, and I want to do a fundraiser for the animals that don't have homes, and so that they don't have to be tested on animals anymore.
All right,
awesome.
So if you want to
Thank
donate,
you.
we know who to give money to.
All right, I'm feeling really inspired. I'm feeling really excited. I'm going to send someone out to check on our main stage speakers and see if they're ready to come back and join us, because we are ready for them. And while we are checking on that, here's what I want to do. We've been sitting for a while. Can everyone please stand up with me? And we're going to have to be a little careful because we're all in close quarters. But we're going to do something called shake it out, all right? So first, we're going to put our right arm in the air. And we're going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Left arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Y'all seeing how this works? Now we're going to count down. So 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. Woo! Awesome, thank you. Go ahead and take a seat. Looks like our main stage speakers are here. All right.
Hello. Okay, so as our main stage speakers are coming back into the auditorium, they're getting themselves ready, I'd like to thank our Student Voice Champions. So our Student Voice Champions are awesome adult leaders who have taken time out of their day today to come here, listen to what you had to share, listen to your calls to action, everything that was on your mind, and we are so, so grateful for them. So we had a number of Student Voice Champions that were in your individual rooms today, and we have a few who are going to be here with us, who are going to give feedback on your speeches as the main stage speakers go. So I'd like to introduce them, and Student Voice Champions, I'm gonna ask you, when it's your turn, to introduce yourself to the students, and I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite thing about New York City? All right, so we're gonna start off with Christy Rades. Christy, if you can introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm here from Albany, from the New York State Education Department. So I work in the Office of Standards and Instruction, and I lead the Civic Readiness Initiative, and I worked very closely with Jenna and her department on writing the Seal of Civic Readiness. So I'm thrilled to be here with you today. My favorite thing about New York City is the people, and listening to your speeches this morning really reinforced that for me, that the power of the voices of New York City could really change the world, and I'm so, so proud of all of you and so happy to be here with you today.
Thanks, Christy. Christina's gonna take that mic from you. We have Susan Rosenblum from Drew University.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having us here. My name is Susan Rakosi Rosenblum. I'm a professor of sociology at Drew University over in New Jersey. And I also run the Center for Civic Engagement. And I run a program called the Action Scholars Program, where we have students just like you who get scholarships to come to college to continue the wonderful work that you do here. And I hope that all of you, when you are applying to colleges, are thinking about colleges that have civic engagement programs so that you can continue doing this impressive and amazing work and continue to amplify your voices. Favorite thing about New York? It's got to be the food.
Thank you. Ben Weinberg from Citizens Union.
Hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Ben Weinberg. I'm the Director of Public Policy at Citizens Union. We're an advocacy group that keeps our elected official, our government representative and accountable. So we do the kind of things that you all do. We think about what should be changed, and we advocate for that in front of our elected officials. I'm really excited to see you all. My favorite thing about New York is obviously the subway. It's slow, it's fast, it gets us places. It doesn't get us to anywhere, but we love it.
Love that unpredictability. Thank you, Ben. And Marjorie Parker from Jobs First NYC.
Hello, everyone. Early good afternoon, I'd say. Marjorie Parker, President and CEO of Jobs First NYC. We are a youth workforce intermediary, and we focus on the issues of education, career development, which many of you in a few years might be thinking about, and some of you might already be thinking about. My favorite thing about New York, well, I'm really happy to be here. At my organization, we have a competition called My Community, My City, and young people like yourself who are at least 16. So if you're in kindergarten or preschool or if you're younger than 16, you can't be part of this competition, but really share ideas about how they can improve their communities so that it's a better place for them to live in. My favorite thing about New York City, all the neighborhoods. You know, when you walk through different neighborhoods, you experience the different cultures. That makes up the melting pot of New York City. So I went to school in the Bronx, and you know, my school was off Fordham Road in the Bronx. I don't know how many people from the Bronx. That's right, boogie down. I'd walk outside my school and ride up and down Fordham Road. Back then it was Puerto Ricans that lived up and down Fordham Road. It's a little different now, but you get to experience all the music and the food. And so my favorite thing about New York City is just going through the different neighborhoods and experiencing the different cultures that make up the melting pot. Thank you.
All right. I'm biased, and I love that love for the Fordham Rams. All right, so student voice champions. Before each speech, we're gonna let you know which one of you is on deck to have a conversation with our students. So once the speech is complete, the crowd will give our wild applause, and then you will have a chance to ask our speakers some questions, share with them what resonated with you, and offer support for how they might further their advocacy. These conversations should be relatively brief for the sake of time, but of course we want you to engage with our awesome speakers. All right?
Okay, so now we get to the speeches. My speakers, I know Samika has prepped you. Just a reminder, you're gonna, when we call your name, you're gonna come on stage. There's stairs over there, there's stairs over there, whatever's easiest for you to get to. When you get up here, you can give your speech at this microphone. You can use my microphone and walk around if that feels better, or you can use the podium, however you like to give your speech, okay? And afterwards, again, remember, you're gonna have a conversation with a student voice champion, so don't run and sit down. We wanna hear from you in part of this conversation. Okay, are we ready? Our first speaker, come on up, Sumaya. Woo! And as Sumaya is coming up, Christy, you're going to be on deck to have a conversation with her afterwards. Can we give her a huge round of wild applause before she gets started?
Go Sumaya!
Hi, my name is Sumaya Rahman from 2nd grade from PS64Q. My issue is littering. Have you ever gone to a park and went home because of littering? I have, and it is not fair. All kids should have a clean community to grow up and have fun in. Don't you agree? I'm passionate about stopping littering because what if our whole earth was filled up with trash? How do you expect kids to have fun in a dirty community? How do you expect animals to survive when their habitats are polluted? According to pausrubbish.com.au, some places get littered more often than others, including industrial areas, highways, and car parks. On the other hand, beaches, parks, schools, and housing areas not littered much. A lot of factors cause why people litter in an area more often than other places. Together we can fix the issue by making a group and say we won't litter. We will always try our best to not litter.
Woo! Oh. Sorry, she's not done. I just got excited.
We could put Let's put our thinking caps on. By not littering, let's make the earth greener. If I start a no littering committee, who wants to join?
All right, round of wild applause.
Sumaya, thank you so much for that really, really powerful speech. So what we try to think about a lot as grown-ups who work in schools is how can we get kids to care more about each other and about things happening in the world? And you just did that for all of us. You just made me care more about littering and made a lot of people in this room think about littering too. So I loved your props. I loved your presentation, but most of all, I love your heart, Sumaya, because you brought your truth today, and I really loved hearing from you. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much, Sumaya. For our next speaker, Susan, you're going to be ready to give some feedback. Our next main stage speaker is Carter. Carter, can you come on up, please? Let's give wild applause for Carter.
Raise your hand if you like feeling happy. Raise your hand if you like feeling important. Raise your hand if you like being disrespected. Didn't think so. Did you know that there are at least 1 to 2 bullies in a classroom? If that is happening in one school, imagine the entire district. Imagine all the schools in the world. Hi, my name is Carter Fung. I am a 2nd grader from PS 264, the Elementary School of the Arts. Today I will be talking about bullying in schools. I will never forget the day my friend and I got bullied by another person in our class. I felt feelings of sadness and anger. What does bullying mean anyways? Bullying is a choice someone makes when they look to harm or hurt someone's feelings. The reason this is such a big issue is because bullying affects many children in their everyday lives. According to StopBullying.gov, 20% of kids ages 12 to 18 get bullied all over the world. Don't get me started with children younger than 12. Bullies may think saying actions like mean things or hitting or shoving is okay. It's absolutely not okay. Did you know that children don't go to school because they're scared of getting bullied? As this is affecting their everyday lives, children can't even focus in school doing classwork as well as doing homework at home. Bullying not only bothers the victim, but also their family members. According to verywellfamily.com, many families feel emotions of sadness, anger, and anxiety. Imagine a world where there's just kindness everywhere, where people get to live peacefully being just themselves. Children deserve more. They deserve to be treated nicely, be heard, and to be seen. Tools we have to work on this issue start with you. Remember the golden rule. Treat people how you want to be treated. Stand tall and be brave. In schools, there are teachers, social workers, counselors, and adults you trust. Your feelings definitely matter. You matter. I need you to be the voice to those who don't have one. Do good deeds and be the change. Raise your hand if you like feeling happy. Raise your hand if you like feeling important. Raise your hand if you stand up to bullying. All the victims, including myself, thank you.
Wow, Carter. Thank you so much, Carter. Wild applause for Carter. Wow. Thank you, Carter. Susan, we're going to go to you.
Wow, Carter. New York City, meet Carter one more time. Carter, I think you did a really brave thing here, which is you used your personal experience to talk about an issue that's important to you, and then you pulled us all in. And so now your personal experience and the issue that's important to you is important to all of us. So really good job. You hit that beautiful note of being serious, but also a little funny. You incorporated the arts, which I love, with that beautiful quilt that you made. And I think you just did a wonderful, wonderful job, and I want to thank you so much for speaking on this issue. And I love how you got the audience involved, and you got us all on the, whatever you want to do next, everyone in this room, we're with you now. So thank you so much, Carter.
Absolutely. Thank you, Carter.
Awesome. Y'all, I am already moved. I'm already just very excited to support each of you with these calls to action. I'm really excited to also bring up Jace for our next speech. Let's give Jace a huge round of applause. And Ben, you will be on deck to have a conversation with Jace afterwards. Let's keep that applause going.
Go, Jace.
Hi, my name is Jace Lee, and I'm a fourth grader at Q300. For the past few months, I've been a custodian for my classroom, and I've noticed a big problem. We waste too much milk given to us with our breakfast. Every morning, the students who want to have breakfast at school receive a bag of breakfast food. Amongst many food items, the students get a carton of milk whether they want it or not. When the students get upstairs to their classroom, not a lot of them drink the milk. When they don't want the milk, they usually put these unopened cartons by the sink, at which point my friends and I dispose of the milk down the drain. The problem lies in the fact that every student who chooses to have breakfast receives a carton of milk without a choice. For example, my class has 27 students, including myself. On average, 5 to 10 students choose to have breakfast out of the entire class. Amongst the people who have breakfast, none of them drink the milk. This means that roughly 5 to 10 brand new cartons of milk are wasted every day in one classroom alone. That is roughly 25 to 50 a week. As a school, the numbers are more extreme. Using the same numbers, the 18 classes that comprise my whole school waste about 1,800 to 3,600 cartons of milk a month, or about 18,000 to 36,000 in the school year. Now, imagine how many schools have the same problem. There are 1,851 public schools in New York City, and that means that approximately 33 million to 66 million cartons of milk are thrown away each year. There's an easy and practical solution to this problem. We can fundraise or donate for 1 to 2 mobile refrigerators to keep where all the breakfast is distributed. The milk cartons can be stored in these refrigerators until the students ask for them. This way, there'll be no wasting of any milk, since the students will have a choice to receive a milk carton or not with their breakfast. Thank you.
Wow, Jace, you know, we grown-ups, we think we know a lot about a lot of things, but I had no idea. This is all new to me, and I thank you so much for bringing this to my attention and to everyone's attention. This was just an incredible speech. I want to start by asking you, who would you like to share this speech? Who else would you like to tell this speech and share this information with?
Like, I would like to share this speech with, like, the government, because, like, they need to know, like, how much money they're spending and what they're spending it for, what it means.
That's right, that's right. That's right. And Jace, we're so lucky that we have here representatives from the government and from business organizations and from a lot of groups that can take this valuable information and help that bring change. And I thought your speech was important because you also brought us into the real problem. You described how it's like in your classroom, in your school, and you connected us with the numbers. I didn't know it's such an enormous problem. So I thank you so much for this speech, and I congratulate you for making such wonderful work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jace. I'm learning so much, and we're only 3 speeches in. Marjorie, you're going to be up next for giving some feedback to our next main stage speaker, who is Kiri. Let's give wild applause to Kiri.
Keep that wild applause going.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kyrie Tamia Ivory. I'm in 4th grade, also the president of 4th grade student government at PS 354, the German L. Green STEM Institute of Queens. Pow, pow, pow. What was that? Gunshots at Dunkin' Donuts. My brother Janai said, "Get down." We got on the floor of our car. I was terrified. Today, I'm going to talk to you about gun violence and why it should stop. Too many people, including children, are dying too often from guns. This is such a big issue that too many people die from gun-related issues, including children. People are afraid of going outside, and children are even afraid of going to school. Children who are exposed to gun violence suffer from negative psychological effects like trauma. It happened to me. I wouldn't go back in my car for a very long time, and I have never been back to that Dunkin' Donuts. According to the Center for Disease Control, in 2020, the most recent year for which complete data is available, 45,222 people died from gun-related injuries in the U.S. That figure includes gun murders and gun suicides, along with 3 other less common types of gun-related deaths tracked by CDC. Those that were unintentional, those that involved law enforcement, those whose circumstances could not be determined. When someone you love, know, or sometimes you don't know dies or becomes a victim of the gun-related occurrence, it brings about damaging long-term effects on the families. The loss and grief the families experience has lasting effects. To better explain, gun-related incidents cause wreckage among families when someone they love becomes a victim of the gun. Oftentimes, people who get hurt are either passing by or being at the wrong place at the wrong time, or not necessarily the intended target. The Second Amendment states you have the right to bear arms, which means you have the right to carry a gun if you apply for a permit and all the other required paperwork. But when that person kills someone, they should lose the privilege to continue carrying a gun. We need our lawmakers to be more careful with who they give gun permits to. With stricter gun laws, we can make sure guns do not get into the hands of dangerous people. Federal law sets a dangerously low minimum age for buying firearms, while the law requires a person to be 21 to purchase a handgun from a licensed firearm dealer. It only requires a person to be 18 to buy a long gun, including an assault weapon, from a dealer. The age limit also drops to 18 if the gun is being purchased from a private, unlicensed seller, which could be a neighbor or someone online at a gun show. For long guns, which includes rifles like AR-15s and shotguns, the minimum age purchase from a licensed dealer is 18 under the federal law, but there's no minimum age to purchase a long gun from an unlicensed seller. So on paper, it looks as though our country has appropriate laws in place, but it doesn't. I ask that lawmakers protect me. I ask that you protect my brother, protect my friends, and all the children in the United States of America. Thank you.
Kyrie. Thank you so much for that. Marjorie?
Kyrie, congratulations on being the president of 4th grade. Your topic resonates with me and resonates with a lot of what we're hearing today across the city. What you did really well there was not only did you identify the topic, you gave a detailed set of evidence. You went from the personal experience to the community experience to the impact it has on other people who may not have had the experience but may have been within the experience and what kind of psychological impact that has. I have to tell you that that essay was so well written, a college students could have written that. It has all the supporting evidence that you want in an essay. On the what should we do, I really do love your suggestion. We do have people in the room today that that heard you, and I'd love to think about what I can do with you where you live and understand better what community live. We work in 18 communities across New York City. Some of the issues that we do work around are gun violence issues with young people and a way to connect, get them connected back to school or working. Because we feel as if people are working, you know, they have to go to work all day so they don't get a chance to get involved in things that they would normally be involved with. So I would be happy to have a conversation with you, understand better about where you are, understand how I can help you advance your thinking that you started with today. Thank you again for a great.
Thank you so much, Kyrie.
All right, y'all, time is flying. We're already halfway through. I'm really thrilled to welcome up to the stage Jose. Jose, come on up. Awesome, and Christy, you'll be on deck to give Jose feedback. Keep that applause coming. We are so excited to hear from you, Jose. And it looks like you are ready for us.
You want to walk around? Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jose Ortega, and today I'll be presenting a speech that is very close to my heart. And it's on why NYC playgrounds need equipment for kids with disabilities. Close your eyes. Can you hear it? Children laugh as they race to take turns on the swing, slides, and monkey bars. Kids throwing water balloons to feel and hear the splash. But wait, not everyone is participating. I don't see kids with special needs. Let me explain. Kids with disabilities may have physical or sensory challenges. In order for a special needs child to access the playground, they need to be adapted. Imagine a world where everybody feels welcomed and nobody feels left out. I have a dream like Martin Luther King Jr. He had a vision of freedom and equality. I want to see in the future all New York City parks be more inclusive and have more adaptive equipment that all children can use. I decided to ask my fellow peers about this issue. Would they be against having an adaptive swing in our school park community? To my surprise, everybody loved the idea. 46 out of 50 kids said it'd be better to share a park than leave anybody out. In addition, I researched the New York City Parks website and found that only 1,700 parks have wheelchair accessibility, but less than 20% of parks have adaptive equipment to meet the needs of this underserved population. I want everybody to contact, visit, or email our local congressperson, mayor, or New York City Department of Parks. It's important that they hear our concerns. We need more adaptive changes in our park. We need all kids to be included. We need all kids to feel included. Finally, the next time when you see a special needs child at the playground, don't stare. Smile. It's a universal language for hello. And remember, everybody has a superpower. We have the power to be kind and include everybody. The special needs children have the ability to do things differently. Why not share the park with them? Thank you for your time.
Okay. Jose, everybody has a superpower, and I think we all found out what yours is. Amazing, amazing topic, and I'm so glad that you're using your superpowers for good, because you would really scare me if you weren't. I think it was really compelling that you did that research and found out from your peers that you have 100% support for this, but less than 20% of the parks have what you're saying kids want to see and would really make the world of difference for those kids who aren't feeling included. That's everything, you know, that we can do for each other. That's why we live in a community. We want everyone to feel seen and heard. And I was thoroughly entertained, but also very much moved. So you have the perfect balance. So what do you want to do when you graduate? Marine biologist. I was going to offer to work in your campaign for president. Thank you. You were amazing.
I am loving the energy in here. Susan, we're going to come to you for our next speaker. And our next main stage speaker, let's have wild applause for Fatiha. Let's keep that wild applause going.
Imagine one morning when you were approaching the school building, you were bewildered by lots of police cars with loud sirens surrounding your school. When you entered the building, instead of your assistant principal, a police officer greeted you. He asked you lots of questions. And finally, when you entered the classroom, you found out that all of your classmates had that same experience that morning. Then your teacher told you that the previous day, an anonymous figure had posed a threat to your school community using social media. How would you feel? Yes, that's exactly what happened to my school just a couple of months ago. Leave apart my school, let me ask you, do you have a friend or sibling or cousin in middle school who don't make eye contact while talking? Have you often come across parents attending social gatherings of your community, leaving the children at home? Is this because they're addicted to devices? Yes, dear audience, this is called nomophobia. We're having a generation who live in a virtual reality by playing Pokemon and die in a cruel reality by playing Blue Whales. We should do something to save these future leaders. I am Fatiha Ayat from IS 230, the Magdalene School for Civics in the Community. Nowadays, as early as age 11, young people can expect to have access to smartphones and devices. These devices can be used not only to call or text, but also to access the internet and play games, including a rapidly expanding number of social media sites. I know that these devices open an exciting and informative world to young people, and they help them learn a lot. But excessive use of these devices can lead to undesirable experiences, such as social isolation and cyberbullying, and mental problems such as distress and depression. Research conducted by the Department of Educational Psychology at the University of Wisconsin found that middle school children spend more than 3 hours each day on devices. Unbelievable, right? What's even more alarming is that their social media accounts are public, meaning it can be accessed by anyone. And many of the students use social media as a competition to see who can get the most number of likes. A CNN study of 13-year-olds and their relationship with social media, called #being13, found that participants who check their social media 50 to 100 times a day are 47% more likely to be distressed than those who don't. Whether it's deciding which app to use, what picture to post, or how to respond to someone's snarky comment. Middle school students are not experts, I can tell you. So, what would our community look like if this issue were no longer present? Before social media came and devices came, the way middle school students interacted was different. You might think that's why they were less socially active, but in reality, it just made them more efficient at communication. They used to be more connected, and we appear to be more distracted. Yes, before social media, they might have had fewer connections online, but they definitely had stronger connections offline. They used to go to church together on Sundays or played board games as a family. They used to talk to their parents at the dinner table and not stare at the devices like now. Life was much simpler before all these devices and social media came along because it was much easier for middle school students to go outside and hang out with friends. But now, everything has changed. Instead of skateboarding around town on the weekends or playing games with family, this new generation seems to be spending more time indoors looking at screens. You might be wondering, what does our community have to do to address this issue? We cannot address this issue individually. We must come up together collectively. Schools, libraries, community centers, in-person clubs for different activities, such as swimming, hiking, and biking, all must play their roles. And families can cast the most important role. At one side of the coin, children should maintain their parents' trust by not doing anything foolish online. And on the other side, parents should maintain their children's trust by not being intrusive in how they monitor their child's social media use. Because parenting is not policing. In this early stage of social media use, children should be open with parents, and parents should be sufficiently respectful towards their children's needs. And this is how we can maintain a delicate balance of trust and awareness. The most important question is, what specific action should we take? I'd like to call all parents to be the reading partner of your child. Read the books they like and review those together. Listen to audiobooks of their choice during family drives. Watch movies or TV series that they like with them, no matter how boring it may seem to you. Be their best friend, listen to their stories, talk to them, give advice when asked. Give them more responsibility to manage their life at home and at school. Because if you seem genuinely interested, then only will your children share more with you. I'd like to remind all middle school students that social media allows us to share not exactly who we are, but just a carefully curated version of ourselves with no rough edges. When we hide behind the sophisticated mask of cultivated perfection and constantly worry about how we look to others, life feels less authentic and more stressful because we're not acting naturally. Instead, we're trying to control our image at every turn. So making sure that middle school students are aware of their use of social media and devices will help them be more socially active. Thank you.
Great job, Fatiha. Amazing. Susan, we're going to come to you.
Hi. So you are a strong and impassioned speaker about a topic that I think is difficult to talk about. It's something that certainly resonates with me both in my personal behavior, in my family behavior, with my students, in almost every aspect of my world. So I am thrilled to see you take on this very difficult topic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Woo! Wait. I have more.
Wait, Fatiha, I think we have a few more comments for you.
I love the way that you frame this issue around connection and reconnection and not seeing it as just an individual problem, but seeing it as a collective problem. So I have some questions for you. My first question for you is, how do you think your peers respond when you talk about this issue?
I've talked about this issue before coming here with them, and my classmates thought it was a very great topic, and I shared my script with them, and they said that they were able to connect their life with what I just said. So they were very glad that I was talking about this issue because they found that a lot of the things that I said connected with them with their personal life.
That's great. Another question for you, because I think you're really knowledgeable on this subject, and I appreciate that you're sharing all that knowledge with us. What's one thing everyone in this room can do today around, if you had a magic wand and you could say, everyone do this one thing today, what would that be?
If I could tell everyone to do one thing, it'd be to make sure that they are secure on social media and that they're not doing anything foolish and they're not being harmed by anyone and that they are in a safe space where they feel respected.
Thank you so much. You're a powerhouse.
Thank you, Fatiha. Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I think every single speech we've heard up here today really underscores the point that young people, you all have expertise and unique perspectives that everyone needs to hear, right? The adults in this room, the other young people in this room, we are learning from you. So thank you. And I'm going to bring up Maya to the stage. Come on up, Maya. Woo! Keep the applause going. Woo! Woo! All right, and Ben, you'll be on deck for Maya. Go for it.
Women will only have true equality when men share with them the responsibility of bringing up the next generation. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Hi, my name is Maya Vasquez, and I'm a 5th grader at PSIS 266. And today I'm going to talk to you about unequal rights. This is when people have an advantage or privilege over others because of their race, money, gender, age, appearance, and religion. Today I'm going to focus on unequal rights for women, but specifically when it comes for being paid for the same job as a man. Unequal pay is the worst thing to think about for young girls like me who strive to be successful in the future. The reason this is such a big issue is because if one is doing the same job as another, both should be paid at the same rate, right? But in my research, I found that through much of the 20th century, the average woman earned about 60% of what a man earned. How is that fair? In the late 1970s, there was an increase in women's earnings, with women earning about 80% of what a man earned. As you could see, men continue to make more money than a woman. But why should a man make more money than a woman if a woman works just as hard or possibly even does a better job? Hearing this makes young girls like myself frustrated because I'm determined to be accomplished as I grow older, but I'm still not going to get paid as much as a man? Even if they increased the pay by 20% in the 70s, it is still not the same. This inequality in pay is found in different professions. A UN report stated that more women work in healthcare but get paid 24% less than men. It also says that for every dollar a man earns, women earn 77 cents. But good thing women like Beyonce, Serena Williams, Jennifer Lawrence, and Emma Watson all keep fighting for this equality and equal pay for women. It's inspiring to me that these famous women fight for this cause, and hopefully when I grow older, this will no longer be an issue. Imagine a world where men and women are treated equally in all areas of life, including as professionals. Young girls and boys are taught the rules of equality and respecting one another. This way, as the children grow older, equality between genders is just a normal part of life. Imagine a world where I could see and hear that girls and boys are getting paid equally. Tools we have to work on this issue are organizations like equalpaytoday.org. They make its mission to eradicate the long-standing gender wage gap impacting the economic security of women, families, and communities of color. You could donate to websites like that to help. But on Equal Pay Day, March 15th, you could stand up and protest for equal pay. There are also tools provided on the Workspace Gender Equality Agency, Plan USA, and UNESCO on gender equality, not just here in the United States, but in other countries too. You would probably say, I can't help, but yes, you can. I need you to be an upstander and speak up for problems like this and make a change you want to see in the world. Like Dr. Seuss once said, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's gonna get better. It's not. Change starts with you and I, and good thing we have role models like Ruth Bader Ginsburg who make young girls like me believe that we can make a difference. Thank you for listening.
Maya, thank you so much for this speech. You know, it takes a lot of courage to speak up in front of an audience and bring such an important topic, and you shown us great courage and did such an excellent job. So please, another round of applause here. What I loved about your speech, Maya, is that this is an entrenched problem in our society that has been going on for years, and you took really great steps to show us that. You kind of ran through history, you gave us statistics and numbers, and shown us that this is not only something that we can solve individually, but that we probably have to do together. And this is exactly the place where we can do these things together. So I wanted to ask you, what are the next steps for you? And you know, you quoted Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you quoted Dr. Seuss, but I think we're gonna quote you soon. So, what do you think you can do to make this to change the situation?
So I'm the elementary school president, and my sister's in the news. She's a editor-in-chief in the newspaper. So I could put out this issue with her and let the school know that there's a big issue happening now, and I could go even further, and I have district meetings with other people or other student leaders, and I could share this issue with them, and we could make a big impact on this issue.
Incredible, incredible.
Woo!
It's exactly that. Raising awareness, organizing with your friends, and telling us about this really important speech. So thank you so much for bringing this up, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marjorie. We're going to have you give feedback to the next student. Let's have wild applause for Gemma. Woo! Woo! Would you like this?
Hi, my name is Gemma Foster. I'm a 4th grader from PS 29 on Staten Island. Raise your hand if you like to swim in beautiful, clean water. Well, I agree with you. Today I'm going to talk to you about the garbage that goes into our oceans and how it is bad. The big problem is humans use way more plastic than we need to. This extra plastic can be extremely dangerous for the ocean. You may ask, how does all this extra plastic get into the ocean? Well, I have an answer for you. Whenever you do not throw your trash away, it becomes your litter. That litter can blow into the ocean. Once it gets into the ocean, the sea animals can eat the plastic or get stuck in it. The plastic never leaves the water. Now that's bad. Just this year alone, there were 51 trillion microscopic pieces of trash in the ocean that weigh 269,000 tons. That's the same weight as 1,345 adult blue whales. In addition, there are another 5.25 trillion pieces of plastic found and washed up on land. Imagine all that plastic piled on the shoreline. As a result of this, over 100 sea marine animals lose their lives each year. Now you may be asking, how can we stop all this extra plastic from getting into the ocean? A good solution is to make more programs to stop the ocean pollution. However, you can help by watching the amount of plastic we use each day. If we use less plastic, a lot less plastic will go into the ocean. Imagine a world where you went to the beach and could see the ocean floor. Now that would be so beautiful and enjoyable. Like I said before, the ocean and its creatures need your help to make the ocean a better place for everyone. So let's work together and stop ocean pollution.
Thank you so much, Marjorie.
Thank you, Gemma. Boy, I would not want to be on the other side of an argument with you. You command the stage. You command attention. It felt like the entire audience just got even more quiet while you were speaking. And that's an impressive attribute that any speaker any public speaker should have. So congratulations on just getting us all to listen. On this topic, I think a lot of us don't know enough, and a lot of us are beginning to learn about the impact of microplastics in the ocean. And personally, when I learned about it, I started about 3 years ago, I started to imagine the fish I was eating might have microplastic. And I started thinking, what would that do to my body? So thank you for the research in that. There are groups that work on this, that I would love to connect you to. But tell me something that you would like to see beyond, what would be your larger call to action that you didn't tell us today, that around just reduce the amount of plastic you use? What would you like to see maybe governmentally or policy-wide? What would you like to see?
I would like to see that sometimes when I swim in the ocean, I can see different types of particles and plastic floating in the ocean, and I would like to know how are all these getting into the ocean, because I know that sometimes people accidentally try to throw their trash into the trash can, but sometimes it ends up on the floor. So I want to know if the world can try to help by, if they see plastic on the floor, try to collect it and put it in the nearest garbage pan.
Thank you for that. There is a group of high schoolers from Staten Island that started a company. Last year we talked to them. They recycle plastic, and they go to the ocean, they pick up the stuff on the beach, and they recycle it and make it into materials. I'd like to connect you to them, since you're on Staten Island as well, so you can learn more. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Marjorie. Thanks, Gemma. Thank you so much.
All right. Our next speaker, Yvette, come on up. Woo! Keep the wild applause going. We're so excited to give you Yvette.
Being unheard is the ground floor to giving up. This is a quote from Mitch Albom. Imagine going to someone you trust and saying, hey, I'm not okay, and getting ignored. How would that make you feel? Rejected? Flat out embarrassed? Regretting that you went to them in the first place? My name is Yvette Taveras, and today I'm going to be talking about being unheard as a teenager. As a member of the teenage community, I know for a fact that the reason this is such a big issue is because we go through a lot, and we don't know how to handle these things. Yeah, sometimes we like to think that we're grown, but we're really not. And there should be someone there to help us, listen to us, and guide us in the right direction. But what if there isn't? Who will we go to? Maybe our friends, and we'll end up getting some bad advice that would have never happened if that one person had just listened. But let me paint you a picture. Imagine this, a world where we are heard. I am sure that we would be taken seriously, and I know for a fact that we would be more opinionated, because there wouldn't be that one person who just shuts us down because we're younger. See, the thing about teenagers is that most of the time, we feel misunderstood. And I know for me, when I'm speaking with someone, I don't want them to just be there. I want them to take in what I'm saying, and I could tell when they don't. And I know for a fact that it must be hard for someone, and it could be a breaking point for someone if they're not listened to. And that just makes me wonder how that could drive you to the edge. Did you know that suicide is the third leading cause of death of young people between the ages of 15 and 24 in the US? And that 5,000 young people complete suicide each year in the US. That number is way too high. Just think of how many of those people tried to reach out and tried to get help, but were shrugged aside and pushed off. With that in mind, imagine how much good it could do for you to listen to a teenager. Imagine how much they could be going through and struggling through, but if you're that one person to listen, how much good that could do. So before you leave here today, I want you to remember HDR. H. Listen, H. However H, help us out and listen to us. D, don't underestimate us or our feelings. And R, realize what you're doing, when you're doing it, and stopping it. We need your support. It's vital for us. So please listen. Thank you.
Woo! Yvette, thank you so much for sharing something so personal and so important for all of us to hear. And, you know, oftentimes I think as grown-ups, we think about how we can make that someone else's job and put money into mental health. And we should, but we also should listen carefully to what you're saying, which is each one of us has the power to be a better listener. And that could make all the difference for somebody. So I'm so grateful that I got a chance to listen to you and think that through, because I think that you're right, and that people like you who have the courage to come up on this stage and to make us face some really uncomfortable truths can really make the world of difference for other students. So I really applaud that you took on such a selfless topic and encouraged all of us to really be more mindful and more appreciative of what teenagers go through in a day, because you're absolutely right, it's not easy, and we could all do a better job listening. So I will certainly listen to you, and my question is, what inspired you to pick this topic?
What inspired me to pick this topic is that one day I was at school, and I had this student coordinator, and I was showing clear signs of help, and I asked her for help, and she just ignored me. And so I wanted to prove to you guys and show you guys that you need to listen, because for another person, it could just be the end. It could be their breaking point. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Susan, we're coming to you next. And our next main stage speaker is Ugochi. Come on up. Loud applause, please. Woo! Keep that wild applause going.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ugochi Chukwueke. I'm representing New Dorp High School. When I gave the speech originally to my class, I thanked everyone, and I'm going to go ahead and thank everyone today because you guys did such an amazing job just now. I think you little ones blew it out the water, and you guys have inspired me to not be nervous when I'm up here. So I want to thank everybody for their speech. When I spoke to my class after hearing all the soapbox speeches, I said that I realized that there was a trend. With all the topics that I heard, I realized that there had been this trend of miseducation, which causes the hurt that we see in our communities. Sometimes we're miseducated on how to deal with other people's mental health, so we turn away. Sometimes we're miseducated on racial issues, and we tend to make other people feel bad. And that leads me to my topic: the failure of Common Core and the decline of the American education system. I want you guys, thank you. Thank you so much. I want us, every single one of us in this room, to close our eyes and imagine a world where conceptual and theoretical understanding was valued more than a mere passing of a test. A world where the ability to impact technological advancements didn't seem restricted to just a highly educated group, but became available and accessible like people like you and me with community education. Unfortunately, we can't keep our eyes closed any longer. We need to make this a reality in our communities and in New York City and push for education reform. It has been reported that almost 1/5 of American teenagers do not even read at the expected level of a 10-year-old. And you can even go as far to say that 45% of Americans do not even have the ability to pass a basic citizenship test. If you didn't realize, those statistics spoke to people like you and me, and almost 100% of people in this room. I don't think it's bold to say that Common Core has definitely failed us as a people. According to the National Conference of State Legislators, we were told that Common Core would, number one, enhance the quality of education and would rise us as students to international standards. To two, it would establish a line and a clear same level across all states that students should be at. And three, it will, the most important one, it will give all students the support that they need to exceed the standards met. But we know that most of these promises do not stand true, and I don't even have to continue in this speech to prove that to you. You've probably seen it in your own classroom yourself. But since my speech is not done, I'm gonna continue going. In Baltimore, currently, they're facing an education crisis. There's some classes with no teachers. In Flint, Michigan, this district had 10,000 students enrolled in 2010 when Common Core was rolled out, and now currently in 2023, it has gone down to 3,000. I believe that the root of this problem is not just, oh, people don't know how to read or this, that, and the third, but I believe the problem is that our society thinks that education is just reading and writing. But education is actually the catalyst of growth and success in each community. Education is more than what we think it is. Sometimes we tend to think that crime starts outside in the streets. Crime starts when I lift up my gun and I shoot at somebody else. That's not when crime starts. Crime starts when a student is not accommodated to their learning needs. Crime starts in an empty classroom. Crime starts when teachers can't recognize what's wrong with their students. That's where crime starts. That's what pushes people to do crime. Thank you. So, in light of all this, I know that there's not a magic wand that I could wave or after this soapbox speech that everything will be changed, but I do believe that there are some systems in place that we could implement in New York City and that we could implement all over in the United States to help us out. Time for our international lesson. For example, we can take the blueprint on of European education, more specifically countries like Switzerland. In Switzerland, when a child graduates from middle school, they have 3 options for high school. The first option is vocational studies, the second, bachelorette studies, or upper secondary specialized school. The 3 schools all offer skills and training based on the route of studies that the student wants to go. If the student wants more hands-on work, they would go more to vocational study. I know and I believe that this system has the ability to produce students who want to do more, who are more driven. And I know that this system will give students more opportunities concerning what they want in their higher years of high school. And it will definitely leave a few less kids confused when they leave the doors after their 4 years. Unfortunately, I'm just one person, and I can only say too much. But if we come together as a people, we can genuinely not only make a change just in New York City, but in the United States. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. Hold on to that mic. Hold on to that mic. We're going to go to Susan.
First of all, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing your charisma, your brilliance, your intelligence, your research with all of us. We are all have good fortune today to hear you speak.
Thank you.
You did a really beautiful job framing these issues around miseducation, framing it around what's happening in other countries and how we have solutions to some of the problems that you talk about, yet we don't seem to be enacting them. But because you are such a fabulous and amazing speaker, I want to hear more from you about how you started to think about these issues, who supported you in developing these issues, what are your next steps, and how can we follow you and support you?
Well, what made me passionate about education is because, okay, I've always loved school. But in my later years of high school, I realized that, especially before the pandemic, I started to do really badly in high school. And the reason that as I started to really scan what's going on around me, I realized that not only was it my fault, I felt like the educators that I had around me didn't really care. Oftentimes, I remember one time I was speaking to an educator about like my absence to school and just why I'd been late. And she told me like, you're a liar, shut up. I'm just like, and after that instance, I think that it really burnt a fire in my heart that's just like, no, there cannot be people like this in schools anymore. Like, gone are the days when you go to school and you feel like your teachers do not care about you. And I put it in my hands and I decided to change high schools, and I now attend New Dorp High School. And at New Dorp High School, I've really seen the difference in myself as a student. And now I'm the class vice president. I'm a part of the Borough Student Advisory. And I feel like so much different stuff has happened to me, and it's all a result of my educators. Believe me, I would not be standing up here talking today if it wasn't for Thomas Pierno, my teacher, who taught me all these things. So it's just like, once I realized how much education could change a person, especially me, who I was when I look back at my earlier high school years, I was just like, nah, I cannot sit down and be quiet. So to continue on in my endeavors, I've decided to spend most of my time like after school with younger children, reading to children with Read Alliance. I also work at an after-school program, PS 155, and just helping children out, because I really believe that if you could just put it in a child's brain and let them realize the magnitude of education, let them realize how important it is, you'll see thousands of people like me, if not even greater. So that's me. Thank you.
Great question.
Can I say something?
Oh, Marjorie, sorry. Hang on one second.
Thank you so much. We were told that we could jump in at any time. So I'm choosing this moment to jump in. A sign of a great thinker is one who takes an everyday issue that we're all struggling with and flip it and reimagine it. And you did something just now that I thought was extremely impressive. You started with, crime doesn't just happen outside when folks pick up a gun and just shoot. Crime happens inside class, when you ignore a student, when you don't listen, when you go to an empty classroom. And I really love that, and I don't know if you call it crime. I would love to meet one-on-one with you to explore what that looks like, if you were to follow that through line all the way through, as an exercise to see how do we have a different conversation, or how can you write and share conversation out? We'll publish it for you. We'll work with you to do it. But we really I love the way you flip that.
Thank you. Woo! Thank you, Marjorie.
Thank you so much. I am thrilled and shocked that this time has flown by. We're bringing up our last speaker. Lily, come on up.
Woo! Woo! Go, Lily.
Hi. To quote Dina Nayari, "It is the obligation of every person born in a safer room to open the door when someone in danger knocks." Since the beginning of last year, over 25,000 refugees fled their countries due to oppression, war, or natural disasters and were admitted into the United States. In years past, these numbers have passed 100,000. According to the Austin American-Statesman, for every individual, the State Department provides a little over $1,000 to support housing, clothing, and food for up to 90 days. Asylum cases, on the other hand, could take years to process, and employment authorization for asylum seekers takes a minimum of 6 months to be granted. Even though refugees might be covered for their first few months, what should they do following this when they can't work? What do you do when year after year, a different group of refugees enter the country, and year after year, they aren't provided with enough resources to help them thrive with their transition into a new life? We cannot keep treating asylum seekers as if there's some new shiny toy to play with for a couple of weeks that then gets thrown away. My name is Lily Harabedian. My great-great-grandparents were refugees escaping the Armenian genocide in the beginning of the 20th century. When they came to America, they had no government assistance, and it took them ages to learn the language, get employment, and find a place to live. Unfortunately, this is the experience for many struggling refugees. I strongly believe that we can do more to help refugees adjust quickly and be successful in the United States. For starters, there are organizations that strive in supporting refugees' needs. The Human Rights First is a nonprofit that helps asylum seekers receive extra legal help, such as providing them with attorneys. By donating to organizations like this, displaced people will have a better chance at getting back on their feet faster. Another way to help is by letting your local representatives know that you support legislation that lowers the wait time for asylum seekers to receive all employment authorization documents. The more demand there is, the better the chances that politicians will act upon it. There should be no time wasted. Every second wasted is another homeless refugee, another job-deprived refugee unable to help their family. Why waste more time when we could have asylum seekers work the same jobs as regular citizens? Why waste more time when we could have asylum seekers be next-door neighbors with regular citizens? Why waste more time when we could live in a world where asylum seekers are equals with regular citizens and have the same chance for a prosperous life? Thank you.
Woo!
Thank you so much, Lily. This was such an important issue, and an issue that is not only on the news in the United States, but here in New York in the last few months, almost a year, and in such a long time. You know, it resonated with me as it resonated, I think, for so many New Yorkers who have struggled with immigration into this country and through bureaucracy and through legal problems, and it's such an important issue to bring up. You gave us a lot of, you know, as a person that have been through a lot of this stuff, has introduced us to data and statistics that I didn't know of. I wonder how was it like for you to research this issue, and what have you learned that you didn't know before?
It was honestly like kind of difficult, like finding out all of these things. I read lots of articles, one specifically on the New York Times that talked about a different part of this issue that I didn't mention in my speech, but it's that there isn't enough workers to actually like file all the processings for the asylum seekers, so they're just waiting there because there's too many of them and not enough of the workers. And unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to put that in there, but I think that also just proves my claim how you could start like a family somewhere and be thriving, and then just suddenly find out like years later that you have to be like deported back. And I think for me, finding that out was like really heartbreaking, I guess.
I agree. You certainly convinced me to learn more about this issue and engage my colleagues, my friends. Yeah. And I like that you offered, first of all, I love that you explained how urgent this is. And I think you, at least for me, and I bet to everyone in the audience here, you really showed that this is an issue we have to deal with now, and you gave us really specific solutions and actions. And you also mentioned that you think we should talk to our elected officials. And I want to tell you, you know, and as part of my work, I go to the city council often, and I testify before members of the city council when they debate various issues. And they often also debate issues around immigration, immigrants coming into New York, what kind of support the city government gives. So I would love to connect you and let you know when these committees come up, because I'm sure that council members would love to hear your opinion and would love to hear from more young people and young New Yorkers about this issue.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ben. Okay. I feel like my brain has just been blown today. I've learned so much from our 11 speakers here. I'm going to ask everyone to now give them the wildest round of wild applause.
You don't need me anymore, right? No, you don't. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
They are absolutely incredible. Our main stage speakers, stay right there, because we're going to give you even more applause and have another thing that we're going to have you do in just a few minutes. But we all want to hear it today from Chancellor Banks, who is going to speak to our main stage speakers and speak to all of you. Thanks, Chancellor Banks.
Woo!
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
You know, I've been chancellor now for 1 year. For 1 year. literally January 3rd marked the 1-year anniversary since I've been in this role. And there are not many places that I've been to where I have spent 2 hours. No, literally. The way they schedule me, I go to places for 30 minutes and on to the next thing. And in fact, today was scheduled as a 30-minute visit. But when I saw it on my schedule, I said, no, I want to be there. I really want to hear what the students are saying. I don't want to go and just offer remarks, take a few pictures, and leave. I really wanted to be here. And I will tell you, I've been chancellor for 1 year. This was the best 2 hours that I have spent in my entire time as chancellor. Samaya talked about littering and what we can do, and Carter about bullying, and Jaisley about wasting milk at schools. And it's got me thinking about all the other things that we waste in addition to milk. We talk about we don't have money for all the after-school programs and all the things that kids really want to have in schools, and yet there's hundreds of thousands of dollars that we're just wasting just in milk. And if we think about if we were to save that money, we'd have money for all the other programs that all the kids want and need. And I hope I get the names right. Kiari talked about the gun violence, which has permeated not only our city, but our nation, and the level of trauma that visits upon not just kids, all of us. She said, I'm never going back to that Dunkin' Donuts. And I think about even other students and adults who think about places that they're going to avoid simply because of a level of violence that we heard about in a particular place. Jose, who's probably the next mayor of New York City, and just the level of sensitivity around the adaptive changes that need to be made for our New York City playgrounds, particularly for students with special needs, and how we have to be sensitive to that. Not just sensitive to it, but we have to make the changes that are necessary, just critically important. Fatiha, cautioning us about the excessive use of these devices. We see it as progress, but Fatiha, I feel the same way. I watch so many young people, and everywhere I go, everybody's doing like this, and finding themselves almost lost in a whole new world, a virtual world. And I share your sentiment that we have to be very careful. We have to figure out a way to fix that without taking devices away, but there's got to be a better way forward. Mia, it warms my heart, right? Equal pay for equal work. You think we are still living in the cave times, right? The fact that women don't make the same thing that men make in many jobs across this nation is completely ridiculous. But it will not change unless young people like you, Mia, fight for that change and organize other people to make that change. And I'm with you, and you count me in for that fight as well. I have 4 children, 3 sons and 1 daughter, Aaliyah, who is, by the way, a New York City public school teacher. So and there's nowhere in the world that she should be making anything less than her brothers for the same thing. So that's a fight we've got to continue. Gemma, clean water and stopping the ocean pollution is something that people have been talking about for many, many years. It's certainly since I've been was a little boy. And so that means that the fight continues, and we've got to come up with new ways to fight to make a change. Yvette, where you talked about being unheard and the power of that. And there's so many people that are sitting in our schools today who are sitting right on the edge. And these are young people who could go on and do wonderful and amazing things, and yet they're also sitting in a moment where they're contemplating taking their own life. And how important it is that we hear them. It's just critically important. It touched my heart to hear you talk about that, Yvette. Lily, the mistreatment of refugees And the urgency to change this even now, critical, 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 and I think we all recognize it. And Ugochi, the decline of the American education system. I mean, come on. And she is absolutely right, and I held her for last because everything that was raised today by the young people that were on the stage and those who I did not get a chance to hear connects to me to everything that we have to change about our schools. Imagine if we, as Ugochi said, could be in our schools each and every day, not just raising the issues and the problems, but imagine if we could spend our entire school day fixing the problems of society. Think about all the things that we could do. We could connect it to all of the various disciplines: math, science, social studies, history, writing, listening. All of it could be connected, but it's connected while we are trying to solve problems. It makes school so much more relevant. So many young people go to school and they don't even know why they go to school. They're just going to school every day. I went to Rikers Island recently and saw some young people who are locked up in jail. And I asked them, how did you wind up here? And each one of them basically told me a story about their disconnection from school, that school was boring. They didn't even understand what they were doing, particularly as they got older. And in jail, they were doing all these other wonderful things. They were studying electrical and plumbing and HVAC training. And one guy put his hand, he said, "Mister, if I was doing this in school, I would have gone to school every day." So think about if students had stuff that they were excited to be in school every single day and changing the world. So by the time that they graduate from high school, they are so fired up about life and about how to be better citizens in the world. So it's not enough just to talk about it. We have to be about it. So I'm going to be doing everything that I can while I'm chancellor to reimagine the school experience so that young people and teachers can find the joy in teaching again. And young people can find the real joy in learning and the relevance of why we go to school every day in the first place. It should mean something, and it should mean something deeply impactful. Imagine all of these young people and all of these wonderful ideas that they presented if we were spending time in school every day solving these problems. It would be amazing. One day, I was in my very first year as a principal in the Bronx, and all the students were in the lunchroom. And I walked by a classroom, and there's one young lady, she was in the 9th grade, Dolores Sayas. And Dolores was in the room looking out the window, and I said, "Dolores, why are you here? You're supposed to be in the lunchroom." And she said, "Oh, I'm going, Mr. Banks, but I'm just so upset right now because I'm looking at that sign across the street from the school." Now, our school sat right next to a highway, and on the other side of the highway was a huge cigarette advertisement, Newport cigarettes or something. And she said, "Look at that. That doesn't seem right. It's so close to our school, and every day we look out the window, and it's like it's encouraging us to smoke. And I think there's something wrong with that, and we should do something about that." The same way that all of you came up with your ideas, Dolores Sayas said, we should figure out how to get rid of that cigarette advertisement. So we stopped everything that we were doing in school. And in their science classes, they started studying the harmful effects of nicotine on the body. Why is smoking bad for you? What does it do to you? And they studied that over and over again. And then they found out in their law class that the city council had proposed a new law saying you can't have a cigarette advertisement within 5,000 feet of schools. So they figured that out, and then in their math classes, they were outside in their coats during the wintertime, and they were measuring the length of a car and to determine the average length of a car. So they were measuring all of these cars. And then they were doing estimation work to say how many car lengths between our school and where that building that has the cigarette advertisement, to see if it's actually within the law that's being proposed. And then in their English classes, they were writing letters to the mayor, encouraging the mayor to sign it into law. All of these different things, all around trying to solve one problem. And we put all of these letters together, and the kids were practicing their speeches. We didn't know if anything would happen. We sent it to the mayor's office. And don't you know that within a week, we got a call from City Hall. And the mayor, at the time, Rudy Giuliani, he called my office, or his office, somebody on his team called my office and said, we're so impressed that your whole school did this as a school project, and we want you to know the mayor's going to sign that into law. And it's going to be a law, and we want you to bring some of your students to City Hall when the mayor signs it into law. Isn't that great? Yes. Can you imagine? I took about 25 of our students, and we went down to City Hall on the day, and I have that picture, and all the students sitting around the mayor as he signed it into law, and it said you can no longer have cigarette advertisements within 5,000 feet of schools. 30 days later, I was in my office, just doing some work, and all of a sudden I started hearing yelling and screaming. What do you think happened? The city workers were out there taking that cigarette advertisement down, and the kids were going crazy. They were like, we did that. We made it happen. And they did. That's what education should be all about. Relevance, solving problems in your community, making New York, making our country a better place. That's why I took the time to come here today, because this means something deeply to me. As I'm sitting here now, I'm taking all kinds of notes. I want to get many of the students who are here today, I want to bring you to City Hall. I want you to present many of your cases and your action plans to the mayor and to all the people who run city government, the people who can actually do something to make a difference. I want to bring a lot of the young people from here to go in front of all the people who can actually do something to make the changes that you are actually talking about. I think you all are absolutely just brilliant. I really do. And Bernie, what you have done and what you have, and Jenna, I mean, just all of you, and not just you, right? But it takes, somebody has to start it. I thank all the teachers who are here. You know, a lot of times we do things with, absolutely. All the teachers, the adults, the coaches, the supporters. None of this happens without you. And so many of you were coming over to take pictures with me to bring the students over, but you were just bragging about your kids. And just how I could tell how much this means to you to see them have the opportunity to come and to demonstrate their brilliance and to demonstrate their conviction and their great ideas. And you know that all these young people are going to be the ones who make a difference in our society. And I want to tell all of you young people, you're not the leaders of tomorrow. You're the leaders of right now. Right now. This world has a lot of issues and a lot of problems. And you don't have to wait around for adults to fix it. In fact, it's many of the adults who are the ones who created the problem in the first place. So don't wait for them. You can actually make a difference. How many of you have ever been to a city council hearing? By a show of hands. That's what I thought. So here's what needs to happen in our schools. All of our students in our schools need to be encouraged to know who their local city council person is, who your state assembly person is, who is your state senator, who is your congressperson. These are the people who make a huge difference, and we elect these people into office. So I want to go from you being lovable, huggable, cute, and smart young people to I want you to understand how to actually affect power in New York City, because you can. They are used to only a handful of adults who even come out to any of their town hall meetings. Imagine if the next city council member in your neighborhood, when they have their meeting, they have 100 young people show up and talk about the issues that you're talking about today. They will work to change it, but you need to come and show up and bring your friends who also know the issues. And it doesn't matter if you're 10 years old. They will listen, but that means if you know what you're talking about. That's what I loved about what you did here today. You got up here and you didn't just say, well, I'm in the 3rd grade, I'm in the 4th grade, and, you know, I'm cute and just say a few words. No. You brought these issues up. You studied, you researched, you did your homework. You were ready. I'm telling you, any one of you could come and stand in front of the mayor of the city of New York or the governor of the state of New York. They would listen because you're prepared. You did your work. And I have great respect for that. And so I'm going to leave each and every one of you by saying this. We need you. We need you. Our city needs you. Our state needs you. This entire country, and I dare say the world. We don't just encourage you to be good students and to do well. I'm here to tell you, the world will not be able to be what it's supposed to be without you. So I hope that you all inspiring each other to greatness and to take your rightful place in this society and be all that you were born to be. And as long as I'm chancellor, I got your back and do anything I can to be supportive. Blessings to all of you, and thank you, everybody, for having me.
Thank you, Chancellor Banks, and thank you for your support of civics education in New York City. So, main stage speakers. Y'all see the soapbox here? It was signed the last time we had this event in person by our 2020 main stage speakers, and so now it's your turn. So we're gonna ask you to stand up, and we're gonna ask everyone else to give them wild, wild applause while they come up on stage. Come up and join me up here. Please come join me here. We're going to have you sign our soapbox and take a picture. And now, teachers, if your student is currently up here, they are going to, as soon as they are finished with their picture, they're going to follow my friend Christian back there, who's going to wave his hand, and Allison. And they are going to head up to be interviewed. Christian is from the Department of Education comms team, communications team. So he is going to follow them. If you are the teacher of a student on the stage, please go with them. If you have another student with you, you can bring that student too. All right? So you, this student, if you have another student and all of their belongings, are going to follow Christian. Your buses will wait for you. We still have another activity for our students who are still here, so I ask that everyone stay seated while our students are signing their soapbox.
Yes. Really quick. Absolutely. Just really quick. Sure. So I'm going to thank you, everyone, for coming. Before people leave, just want, as we were giving wild applause, there is an individual on this stage from MCFA Challenge who deserves some wild applause, who has helped to put this together and make all this possible. Just want to make sure, Mia, if you don't step out front, please. Let's make sure that
we acknowledge you. Thanks, y'all.
All the rooms, all the food, all of that. And again, to MCFA Challenge staff, if you can wave from the back in the Democracy is a Verb shirts. Thank you all. I don't always remember to do that. I want to make sure that I remember to do it today.
Thank you. Please stay seated. I'm going to follow Renee's lead, and I think most of my team may be out doing their other jobs, but I do want to give a round of applause to the Civics for All team who supports all of your schools, and our district points who got up early to get those buses, to get those our district partners here. Thank you so much.
Students who are signing, please stay on stage. We want to grab one picture with you.
We're going to take one picture with just our students, and then we're going to ask our 4 Student Voice champions to join them on stage for a photo as well. Student Voice champions, if you can come join me over here. Marjorie, Ben, Susan, and Christy, if you could come join me right here. As soon as we get a picture of just the students, we're going to add you into it as well. Can we get some wild applause for our student voice champions, please? Because these adults gave such great feedback, such great encouragement to our students. We are so grateful for their time today. Thank you so much for being here with us.
There's recording, right? Yeah, they recorded the whole thing. Good to see you.
Okay, if our students, when you're finished signing, if you could face Mia down here. Maybe stand behind that soapbox for us. Let's stand back here so we can see the soapbox. Why don't you stand over by Jose, right over there.
Oh, perfect. Well, y'all look great.
Just hang on to that and go, thank you.
1, 2, 3.
Big smiles, more wild applause for these students. Student voice champions, if I could have you on stage. Christy, Marjorie, Ben, Susan, if you could join our young people. Don't move just yet. Stay right there. Here they come. We're going to take one picture. Thank you. All right, so our students and their teachers are going to follow Allison right over here. And I'm going to turn it over to Mia, who's going to lead us in our final activity of the day.
Final activity of the day. Y'all have been absolutely amazing. I am so energized by all the speeches we heard today, all of the bravery, all of the vision for our future. All right.
Marjorie, we'll make sure to...
This is the slide I was looking for. So at Mikvah, we love to do something called Head, Heart, Feet. And I would like to hear from a few folks in the audience. I know Christina has a microphone with her. Let's start with Head. What is something you learned today? Either from a speech you heard or from your experience getting up and giving a speech.
Will you tell us your name and what you learned today?
My name is Jessic, and I learned about littering.
Yes, we learned about littering. What else did we learn? One second. Will you tell us your name and what you learned?
My name is Alan, and I've learned what light pollution is.
Ooh, light pollution. We're learning a lot about the environment. One more, Mia?
One more. Yeah, I see lots of hands. I love how much learning has happened from each other today.
Hi, my name is Michael Mensa, and I've learned how animals suffer from plastic.
How animals suffer from plastics.
Powerful. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's talk about heart. What's something you felt today? Something you felt today, either giving your speech, listening to someone else give their speech. I see lots of hands.
Will you share your name and what you felt today?
My name is Abigail Maris. I felt very moved because a lot of the speeches felt very powerful.
Yes, very powerful speeches. All right, one more.
I definitely felt empowered by the speeches. They really made me feel like I could do something to affect this world.
Yes, feeling empowered.
Thank you. All right, and my last one, feet, and this one is important, right? We all had our calls to action. What is something you're going to do next? What are you going to do now to keep pushing these issues forward?
All right, I have one back here. What's your name and what are you going to do next?
My name is Jalea, and I'm probably going to learn more things, so I might do more research about all these things that I learned today and learn more.
Yes, learn more. I like that. Any others? What are you going to do next? I'm going to try to get to you in the middle. I'm going to come from over here.
This is awesome. I love seeing all these hands. Y'all are going to take the next steps. This is very,
Will you tell us your
exciting.
name and what you're going to do next?
My name is Liao Huang, and I'm going to plant more trees.
Woo! Woo! All right, Christina, let's do one more to finish us out.
All
something
right,
you're
I'm
do
gonna come
next.
over here. I see this hand right here. Yes, I'm coming. Will you tell us your name and what you're gonna do next?
Hello, my name is Nico, and I'm going to go home and think about all the beautiful speeches that I heard today.
Yes.
Love that. What a good place to end on. Fabulous. Okay, so we're going to dismiss by group again. But before we do that, I really just want to congratulate each and every one of you. I want to thank our Student Voice champions for listening to young people, which is something we don't get a chance to do enough of. We appreciate y'all taking the time today to do that. I want to give an enormous shout out to our teachers. We see what you do, the way you support your students. Let's give our teachers a round of applause. Woo! And young people, your voices are powerful. This is truly just the beginning. Please keep speaking out. We cannot wait to see what you do next. Congratulations. One more round of applause for yourselves as well. All right. So we're going to get you on your buses and on your way home. I see. Let's have room 2. Go ahead and head out.
Please wait until your room is called. I promise your bus isn't going to leave without you, and there is something for the students to collect outside, so this might take us a minute. So please stay seated until your room is called.
All right. Room 1, you can go ahead out. Thank you, everyone else, for being so patient. I know it's going to take just a minute. It'll be worth it. We have a little gift for you on your way out. You'll see?